Good evening and welcome to Garblag Games. I am Aaron. I am your trail boss today for a very special one shot of a brand new game called Huckleberry that is currently on Backerkit. A friend of the channel, Steven from over on the Adventures in Lollygagging, is the game designer, and I expect he's haunting the chat. So if you've got questions or interests about the game as they come up, feel free to shoot a question in the chat and Steven will get to it. The backer kit is going incredible right now. There's 25 days left. So if you're interested in what you see here, you can definitely go check it out. The link is in the description below. There's over 358 backers right now, and it's already 5 times over its funding goal with several stretch goals already unlocked. So the game is only going to get bigger and better as we move forward. Now, if you don't have any idea what Huckleberry is all about, you're just tuning in because you love Garblag games. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. Let me give you an idea of what this game is. So, Huckleberry is a dark, weird tabletop role playing game inspired by the mythology of the American Old West. In this unforgiving landscape, the veil between reality and the weird has frayed and thinned, allowing weird to seep into every crevice, corrupting and twisting the very fabric of reality. Players step into the dusty boots of occult bounty hunters called mavericks. These hard individuals eke out an existence by confronting the monstrosities of the weird. In this brutal landscape, storytelling takes center stage, and Huckleberry focuses on blockbuster moments without getting bogged down by the little details. So this is a weird West RPG that is rules lean, giving you an opportunity for very cinematic action. I'm hoping that we'll be able to show you some of that today as we dive into this bounty. So let me set the scene for you. It's early morning. We're near a rail station, and in the background you can hear the of a telegraph machine going. Around the station, looking a little forlorn, low on chips, with little more than a few drops of cool water between them, we see three mavericks hoping to get some work so they can get a few more coin in their pocket. As we look around, who do we see first, Andy?
Hi. So the first person is the first man is probably the most normal looking of the bunch. He's tall, 6'4", 6'5", tall and very gangly. But he definitely looks and appears to be human. Dressed in a long, very long for his height, duster coat that's heavily worn with a classic hat. I've selected the pinched front style, which I can't remember what that means, but it's a particular style of hat. And the most obvious thing about him is the very long rifle that he carries, a sort of Winchester repeater rifle that looks to be modified to have had the barrel extended, some kind of adjustable sights added. The ones who sort of a flip up bar thing on the back that you can, with a little ratchet, you can dial up and down for different distances. He calls it the dentist because it can he can remove people's teeth with it at quite a distance. And he's called Tall John Seegers because he's very tall. Now, going through the traits of the game, his blood is natural. That means he's actually a completely I don't know if the right word is tainted or weird human. For that, he gains 2 callings and 2 dispositions, and he stands out less than other mavericks. First of all, his flesh. He has his flesh trait. He has fox sense. So essentially, if he can watch as a target for a few minutes, he can then make checks to learn more about it. Um, and he's also better at spotting ambushes. So he gets two callings. One is Skulker, so he's good at skulking around. And the other is Tracker, so he's good at tracking things. And then he gets two dispositions. One is Nerves of Steel. He is um, be better at holding himself together in the face of danger. And um, Steadfast. Oh, I'm good at yes. Oh, yeah. I'm good at shooting people who have already attacked this round. Yeah, so I like picking off the targets who have already exposed themselves. Quite like that as a trait. And that's essentially Tall John.
Nice to meet you, Tall John. Dennis, who do we see when we look at you?
Um, well, you used to see a normal human just like everyone else. In an investigator, a private investigator that sought out jobs and people and work. But the weird has a way of bringing the inners out and slowly turned uh, Chuck um, more like a bloodhound on the outside. His face kind of looks like that. Um, he though didn't like that much. He did not appreciate getting corrupted like that. So he has spent quite some time trying to alter his new physique back into more human resembling physique. He's lost a limb. He's got plating on the parts which are probably not like on the face, um, and is slowly been replacing bits of himself with metal bits. Slowly been turning himself more into an ironclad, into a robot person. Um, and now kind of finds himself at this junction between kind of his blood trait, which is now the ironclad, his flesh, which is this bloodhound appearance. He too has the fox sense, although for him it'd be more hound sense than anything else. And his soul's calling of being an investigator. Um, yeah, looking still to continue that investigator uh, maverick sense to try and find work.
I like it. And last but not least, Rob, you're muted, sir.
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, hi, I'm Rob. I'm playing Aldrin Armstrong. He's that guy behind me. He's wearing. No, we're not really interested in what he's wearing, but he's wearing a one of those suits you get buried in if you've got enough money. And he's not sure if he was firstly a mosquito who got morphed into a man or a man who got morphed into a mosquito. It's not really something he discusses in polite company. He's got a thing, unsurprisingly, for blood. Whilst his calling is also similar to the normal chap, one of tracking and hunting things down, his blood trait is leech in that he gets to drink blood. His flesh trait is claws in that he gets to make people bleed. His disposition trait is bloodthirsty in that he it's much more easy for him to shed blood, and he carries with him this sort of eschews sort of guns and things like that. He likes to get up close, but before he gets up close with his sort of ghoulish clawed hands, he has this sort of wicked looking tomahawk that has this green ichor that's just dripping from the serrated blade, and he sort of taps that sort of to his side whenever he's walking around. His friends call him Buzz. No one really knows why.
So we see the telegraph operator turn and look out his window at these two unusual mavericks and one tall man. He goes, well, fellers, I think y'all might be in luck. I know you've been waiting around here either for a train or something to come through. Looks like a bounty just came through from King City. That's just a few hours down trail from here on a fast ride. Y'all might be able to first to get to it. Here, let me read this to you. It says, now hold on, let me put my spectacles on. All right, now it says reward, big letters, reward for the murder of Grand Union partner is still at large. So I guess from what I'm reading here, somebody from working from the Grand Union just got murdered over there in Kings. Well, hold on, I'll just read the whole thing to you. Any addition to any reward offered by local authorities, the Grand Union will pay 3 chips to each maverick for the killer's apprehension. Wow, 3 chips. That's a pretty good day's work. I'm just a telegraph operator here, and I kind of like my train station, but I'm not one to go hunting the weird like you mavericks. But what 3 chips? That's something to sneeze at. Well, it goes on to say that this fellow that did the murdering, dead or alive, whatever works out best for you mavericks. It says here that Archie Maddox, I'm thinking that was the fellow who got, a freight driver in good standing with the Grand Union Postal Service, was heinously executed while performing his duties in King City. All persons harboring or aiding the murderer will be treated as accomplices and shall be subject to trial, the punishment of death, and seizures of all assets held by the Grand Union Bank. Any citizen with information about this crime should report the details to Miss Ellen Gwynn at the King City Branch Bank. Well, I don't know. Sounds like it might be something y'all interested in. It's going out on the wire, but like I said, you're only a few hours ride down from King City right here, so if you hightail it, you might make it there before any other maverick shows up to look into this poor fella Archie Maddox's death. Well, I got to get back to setting up the train schedule. Y'all have a blessed day. With that, he turns back and starts fiddling. What would you like to do?
I'm up for that. I don't know if my old Beethoven, he's a big old draft horse. I don't know if he can quite get there in the time he's describing, but dead or alive, seems good.
That's an option of both, right?
Well, one's easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just saddle my horse Bloodbag and start moseying, I believe that's the phrase, moseying towards King City.
Fantastic.
I shall clamber across on top of Longshanks, who's a particularly tall horse for my height, but I love the fact that Buzz's horse is called Bloodbag, sorry.
Thank you.
Good old Bloodbag. All right, so the 3 of you head off, and that scene sort of closes down, and we find ourselves coming up on noon. It has been a hard morning's ride, and you're coming up onto King City. Now, what y'all know about King City is that a few years ago, it was up and coming town. I mean, it had about 5,000 people living here. They said it could become as big as Dodge City. Silver mine was churning and everybody was living well. But as you're riding into town, looks more like a cemetery of buildings, boarded up, tumbleweeds in the street. No sign of life on the outskirts. You go past the cemetery, and above the cemetery on a high cliff, you can kind of see the outlines of a church. But as you go deeper into town, you start to hear the sound of life. You smell horse manure and bad, cheap liquor. You hear people moving through, the sounds of wagons, and you figure you're making your way into the center of town. Front and center. Oh, go right ahead.
No, this is where the dead man was deaded, yes?
Yeah, yes. King City. This is where the bounty said to come to. And as you move your way into the center of town, you do find yourself before the entrance to the bank.
Sorry, one quick thing.
Yes.
On the way in, was there a sign that said King City population and a number? How big is it?
There was an old broken down sign that said King City on it, and it originally said 5,000, and that's been marked out. And it looks like it says and then 500 has been scrawled in its place.
5,000 is really big, isn't it?
It was big. It was big in the day, but it's been a few years.
I guess the mine dried up.
Could be.
Wow.
Head to the bank.
Yeah.
We're looking for this Miss Ellen Wynn, aren't we?
That's right, Miss Ellen Wynn. And right at the center of town, you come to the Grand Union Bank. You know that the Grand Union Bank also has the post office in it. It's a pretty small building, actually, but there's a hitching post out there, and there's a couple horses hitched up to it. The doors are open for business, obviously, since it's approaching noon. What would you like to do?
I think it's best if we let the person who doesn't look as bizarre as Chuck and I to walk in first. It's like walking into a bank with a motorcycle helmet on.
Or clanking full of metal.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Right. I shall with a nod to the two, I shall hitch up my horse, and then with sort of my rifle cradled in my arms, sort of ready but not trying to not be threatening, but still carrying a rifle. I shall enter the bank.
Right. And as you get off your horse and you start to enter the bank, you see there's a few people on the streets walking around looking. Now, most of them look natural, but you're definitely not the only people touched by the weird here. Perhaps most of them aren't quite as touched as Buzz and Chuck, but there are quite a few unusual characters in town. So your appearance alone is not likely to draw too much attention.
Jolly good.
But Tall John, as you walk into the bank, you see first thing that draws your attention is obviously the main room's partitioned off a little bit. You got a section over the side where it's obviously the post office, but to the left you can see a large desk, and on one side of it you see a young woman, well kept in a very pleasing dress. She's got long brown hair, coiffed up, and wearing green glasses. But what really catches your eye is her skin's tinged blue. So it's quite obvious that she hasn't had enough money throughout her life to always afford cool water. So the weird has touched her. Sitting across from her, you see a tall, gaunt man in a severe but very expensive suit with black hair slicked back and dark skin. They're in deep conversation, and behind the man standing is a large brick of a human, wearing a long duster, one side of it draped back to expose his big iron, wearing a hat and with a grim expression on his face and eyes that never stop moving. It's obvious that this fella is some sort of hired gun or hired lawman, probably from the McMaster's company. And he immediately tracks you as soon as you walk in. And he bends over and whispers something in the man's ear. And he turns and looks at you and flashes you a big smile, all the whites of his teeth showing.
So
but
this is the guard or the man who sat talking.
The man who was sitting down turns to look at you, and flashes you a large smile. He turns back, and you overhear him say, "Miss Gwynn, looks like you have some interested parties come to speak to you. So we'll get back to our conversation a little bit later." And he stands, straightens his coat up, throws his shoulders back, turns and walks towards you, already coming out to shake yours as he approaches.
I shall shake his hand and sort of nod to him, but I'm not um, I'm not going to say anything. He seems to introduce himself to me, so I'm going to let him speak first if he wants to actually make an introduction.
He says, "Well, sir, welcome to King City. I'm Mayor Leon Grady. And I can only assume, since you're a stranger in our fair town, that you must be one of them a posse of mavericks come to take a look at poor Archie Maddox's death. Do I have my assertions correct, sir?"
You do.
Well, I'm one to tell you you are welcome here. It is without any official law here in the town anymore. It's good to see mavericks come in and take this. Weird situations pop up from time to time here in King City, and I'm here to tell you, if you do a good enough job here with this, there might be more corn and cool water in your future as perhaps residents of King City. As the mayor, I'm always looking for strong-willed and capable persons to help us care for our city. I know it doesn't look like it was in its heyday, but we're going to grow strong again. You could make a good place for yourself here.
Aaron, so can I just backtrack one thing? Your audio went funny at one point. Did he say there's no law in the town?
Yeah, there's no law in the town at the moment. We had a sheriff, but he moved on a bit, and we haven't gotten around to electing a new one yet.
Well, let us see what we can do with this bounty, and if the coin is good, then we'd certainly be interested in more work, I would imagine, after this one.
Well, that's music to my ears. And as he's speaking, you smell the sort of very strong, earthy aroma coming off of him. Whether it's cologne or aftershave, you're not sure, but it's not quite overpowering, but it is definitely up your nose and unexpected. He goes, "Well, then I'll let you get speaking to Miss Gwen. She's got the particulars on this. Of course, my office is always open to help you Mavericks. If anything comes up, you don't hesitate to reach out."
Thank you, Mayor. We may well come and have a chat to you. Just to be clear, did Chuck and Buzz come in as well?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, I shall lead the group over with a nod to him, and a sort of professional nod to his hired gun. I shall then walk over to Miss Wynn's desk.
And as you approach, she stands and also reaches out her hand. She goes, "Hello, my name is Miss Ellen Gwynn. I'm the manager of the bank and post office here at the General Union, or at least this branch of the General Union. Uh, I do apologize. I did overhear what you said to the mayor about you being Mavericks, and he had to look into Archie's death. So I'm Archie. He's a good fella. He was like an uncle to me. I mean, that old fella. I can't tell you the number of nights he'd tell me tales as I was a young girl about all the things he saw on his route when he was delivering freight and packages and mail. He was a good old sort, and it was an absolute tragedy what happened to him. So thank you so much for coming. King City needs law and order, needs people to feel safe."
Don't we all?
I have a question.
"Oh, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir."
How did he die? Did he
Ha-
lose a lot of blood?
Well, no, sir. Curious question, but no, sir. I wasn't there. I was abed myself, boarding house. I rent a room in, but the tale I heard first thing this morning was that he was over at the saloon, Milt's place, the Buckhorn Saloon, and And I don't know how he got there because last night before I was closing up the bank, he was in the back room. We got a room that we let the couriers stay in, the postal couriers, when they come in and stop on their route. He's in his long johns and getting ready for bed. Last time I saw him, I told him good night and that I'd see him in the morning. And she starts to tear up a little bit. Well, back to what I was saying. So I heard from Milt and some of the folks over at the Buckhorn Saloon that last night one of the drunks was staggering out around midnight. They look up and there was Archie. He was just hanging, not from a tree or not from a yard on, not from any gallows. He was just hanging in the moonlight. He said his neck was obviously broke and his tongue was lolling out and his eyes were bulging. And as soon as they got that far in their description, I told them they just had to stop. I felt so sick. But by then, and they couldn't get him down. Mill said he got all his pals out of the bar and they got ladders up there and they tried to tug Archie down. They tied a rope to him and into a mule, and mule tried to pull him down. He Nothing would budge him. Nothing would budge him out of that moonlight until dawn. When dawn came, his body just fell to the ground like a broken toy. Poor old Archie.
It sounds horrific. I take it that's not a normal occurrence around here.
Well, I mean, a lot of weird things happen in King City, but nothing like that. I've never heard of nothing like that before.
Sure.
And I mean, who would want to do that to poor old Archie? He didn't harm nobody.
Why? Yeah. Why makes you say someone?
Well, I mean, someone, something. I mean, nobody jumps up in the air and hangs himself in the moonlight, so something had to caused it.
Mm,
And his neck was broken.
That's what they told me. I didn't see his body. I mean, I was at his funeral this morning. It was just me and the grave digger and the preacher, but they didn't have the casket open.
He died last night, and he's already been buried.
Oh yeah, they buried him this morning. Sometimes when people die from the weird, particularly in the heart of the summer like this, they like to put them in the ground fast. Helps people forget it happened. I don't partake with it myself. I think everybody should have their time to lay in state so they could be properly mourned. But like I said, Archie he didn't have a lot of friends here in King City anymore. He wasn't thought of well. He's last several months, he's just been stopping here for a night and getting back on his route. So I don't rightly know, but yeah, they put him in the ground first thing this morning on Boot Hill.
right. You say a whole group of people from the saloon like witnessed this, like tried to get him down, were there to see all this.
Oh yeah, all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
regulars over there. They drink over in the Buckhorn Saloon almost every night. I don't know exactly who. I mean, Milk could tell you who tried to help him, but they pulled and tugged. They told me. Well, Milt told me they were afraid that they were going to pull him in half when they tied him to that mule. So that's when they gave up and just
Yeah.
waited to see what would happen.
Mm.
And that's the owner of the saloon, is it?
Yeah, Milt's the owner and bartender.
Milt.
He's got the license from the mayor to distribute cool water. So his saloons are always well stocked and always have a crowd.
Fair enough. And he, like you said, he had many a story from his travels. Anything you think of that might have followed him?
Well,
Any bad tales?
I can't really think of nothing. I mean, he always had some very interesting things to say, but I can't. How about let's do a first check. Let's do a reckon and expression check to see if you can jog her memory for something. So the way this works in Huckleberry is you've got different dice sizes for your attributes. reckon being an attribute, and then you've got a skill. So you roll the two of those together, and you're looking for a 10 or better.
Wow. Well, my reckon is a D12. My expression is a D10. So best dice. Rolling.
Just to check, do they explode?
They do not explode.
And we get a 9.
A 9. Okay, so she's just shaking her head. She's like, Now I will say this. From a mechanic standpoint, you can reduce the size of your weird die permanently going forward to re-roll. But of course, your weird die is what you roll to make your saves. So there is a risk reward factor there. So it probably needs to be a check that you really want to succeed at. So it's up to you if you want to do that here.
We'll hold off for now.
I like it. So she's like, I mean, he had so many weird tales. I can't rightly say for sure. And I didn't see a diary or anything amongst his belongings in the back. So I don't know that he wrote anything down, but I don't know. There might be something in his room.
Worth a check. Worth a check, I think.
Just before we proceed any further, Miss Wynne, just to be clear, we heard on the wire that it was 3 chips each as payment.
Absolutely, sir. Yes, three chips apiece, and that's from the Grand Union. Now, there might be interested parties here in town that might be able to offer you more, but in addition to that, 3 chips from the Grand Union, and of course the appreciation of the Grand Union. I overheard what the mayor said. There's definitely work in a town like King City for strong, fair-minded mavericks such as yourselves. And 3 chips in this game, that is a substantial bounty. So this is not a small amount of money.
Yeah, I'd figured that from the fact that my rifle costs 7.
Exactly. So, you can use in this game, if this was not a one shot and you were looking to, improve your big irons and things like that, you can use chips to do that. So there's a mechanic for it in the game as well, which is really kind of interesting. So, gentlemen, is there any other questions you have? Would you like to see his room?
Yeah, can we see his room, please?
Absolutely. So she takes you back behind. There's a little nook behind the post office area, and it opens up, and there's a small door, and she opens it. It's a very small room. I mean, this is obviously a way station for somebody just to spend a couple of nights here while they're doing their route. You see a well-made cot, and you see a set of clothes folded neatly and laid on the bed with a pocket watch on top of it. And then you see a couple of filing cabinets against the other wall. And she goes, "Now, gentlemen, Archie was not this neat. When I heard about it, I just had to do something. So I came in and straightened everything up for him. And I mean, they buried him in his long johns. Just how they found him, that's just wrong. But I folded up his suit and belongings in case we can find a relative of his that I can send him to. But this is everything he had with him. Like I said, they buried him in his long johns. Didn't have nothing else on him. Didn't even have his boots on when he was hung. So, well, y'all take a look around here. I'm just going to step outside to keep an eye on the bank. I'm here for you if you have any questions. Just call out. Just say, Miss Gwen. I'll come a running.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Fine justice for poor Archie. Such a good, sweet old man.
We'll give it our best shot.
So what would you like to do?
I'm going to pick up the watch.
All right. The first thing you notice about go ahead. Sorry.
No, please. No, go on.
The first thing you notice about the pocket watch is on the exterior of the pocket watch, this brass covered pocket watch, there's a shape burned into it. It looks like a loop or perhaps a noose. Why don't you give me a spirit education check?
Me?
Yeah.
Right. Spirit is a D8 and education is a D8. So roll 2D8. Yeah, that's
it.
The reason. Yeah. 2D8.
Aaron, did you say it was burned into it?
Yes, burned into it.
So not looking like a piece of craftsmanship. Looked like someone's Yeah.
Yeah, defaced it by burning this figure of a loop into it.
Buzz got a 6 and a 4.
10, that's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
So, Buzz, as you're looking at this, I mean, you've dealt with the weird your entire life. And you can tell looking at this watch that no normal fire could have burned this into this watch. This some sort of weird fire or some sort of weird hoodoo has caused this to be burned into the watch.
Can I just I presume it's like a hunter's watch. It has a case. I mean,
Yes.
sort of you can open it up and reveal the bezel and all that underneath. Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any inscriptions on the inside, and is the clock face a normal whatever the time structure is in this place?
Yeah, there's no inscription on the inside, but the glass of the watch has shattered in a sort of spider web configuration, and it is stopped at straight up 12. So either noon or midnight.
What time is it now? Is it past noon, midday?
No, you're probably around 11 o'clock in the morning.
So it stopped at midnight. And was there a full moon last night?
There was the first full moon of the month, yes.
Okay. And whilst I'm leaning over them with the clothes, with the watch that I've not let go of, can I just go through the clothes, the pockets, to make sure they've just been folded up and nothing's been.
Yeah, you take a quick look at the clothes and his boots, and they are patch worn but well cared for, probably his only set of clothes. You find nothing in them, no scraps of paper or anything else that that would lend itself to explain this mystery.
And we're not familiar with this sigil of a noose. We haven't seen it before.
No, not well, nothing specific to
Yeah.
this.
Can I physically search the room?
Absolutely.
Looking for hidden things. What would that be?
So let's do a reckon, and looking at the skills, let's go reckon bushcrafts, because that's kind of like your survival, your search. Or reckon skullduggery. I would take either one of them, because if you're looking for something hidden.
Same for me.
Okay.
I'm rolling a D6 reckon and a D8 bushcraft, and I have rolled a 6 and an 8. So I've actually rolled.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Is that aces? If I've rolled maximum,
that is so well. No, it's not aces from maximum, but you do get aces. So if you roll a 10, that succeeds. For every 2 over, you get an ace.
Oh, okay.
So you got a 14. So you have 2 aces. Now, one of the interesting things about aces is you can use them as part of this roll to essentially, for you, it would you'd probably be looking to have a look-see or ask me an additional question that would provide you some different additional information. Or you can also sleeve an ace. And what a sleeved ace means is you're saving an ace or both of those aces against a future roll, which you could use then on a future roll to give you a +2, either to your complex action or check, or to your save. So do you want to sleep?
And you declare that +2 before or after you roll?
After you roll.
After
so if you have sleeved aces, you can do your roll and then you can decide to add to it. Or you can spend them as part of the roll you just made. But for this, you could spend 1 ace to get additional information if you wanted, and sleeve an ace, or however you.
I would like to do that. I would like to sleeve one and then use one to get additional information.
Fantastic. And for everybody's information, watching and playing, you can have up to 4 sleeved aces. So don't hesitate to spend them, because you can't save more than 4.
Yep.
If you do get 4 sleeved aces, and you've reduced the size of your weird dice, you can spend all 4 of your sleeved aces to increase your weird die back up 1 level. That's just future information. But I will say this. So as you're searching around, you're going through all the belongings, looking under the bed, checking the wall, checking the floor. You don't really see anything, but when you get into the filing cabinets, you see that the files are actually pretty well kept in here. And they're from several different couriers that come through, not just Archie's files, but you do see a very blatant gap. There's an entire month of files are missing, and it's from 1 year ago exactly. This month, 1 year ago, the files are missing.
Hmm.
I shall point this out to the other two, just to be very clear.
Well done.
Is it possible to call for Miss Wynne?
Yeah. She hears you call out and she comes back around. Yes, sir. How can I help you?
I was wondering, did anything strange happen here a year ago?
A year ago, as in a year ago this month?
Sure, a year ago, near as damn it to now.
Well, I'm not one to like to gossip. You
No,
understand it.
of
But
course.
but if you think this might help, it
Yes.
was about a year ago. Now I reckon that well, them Cobb boys came through. They Cobb brothers came through, and they set themselves up as lawmen. They were the last group of lawmen set themselves up here in King City. And I'm here to tell you they were no lawmen. They had badges, they wore badges, but they were nothing but thugs. They just ran roughshod over the entire town, and nobody would stand up to them. They didn't mess with me or the Grand Union Bank, because no one foolish enough to mess with the Grand Union Bank. But I hear tell everybody else in town, they took a piece of them. They took a piece of their business for protection, and poor Johnny. They even stole a faro game from poor Johnny in the Buckhorn Saloon. Walked right in there and smacked him in the side of the face, and just took that game from him. And they had parked themselves in the Buckhorn Saloon, and they gave Milt a harder time than anybody else here. I mean, I here to tell you, they got in a tussle with Milt, and they tore his ear off, square off his head. But, well, long story short, it was about a year ago to this day almost that the Cobb brothers, well, they was found dead in their beds. And I'm here to tell you, nobody was sad to see that. They had a fourth member of their gang. Can't rightly recall the fella's name. Wasn't a Cobb brother, but he ran off. He hightailed it out of town. Everybody just figured he got tired of their nonsense and put him down while they was asleep. But nobody even cared enough to put a bounty out on him.
So there were three Cobb brothers.
That's right, sir. 3 Cobb brothers.
Thank you, Miss Gwynn. You can go back to
And you don't know the name of the fourth man?
I can't recall off the top of my head. The leader of them, the oldest brother, was Earl, and then he had 2 younger brothers. They were nothing but, like I said, nothing but horrible people.
And how did they die? Sorry, they died. You said they just died in their sleep.
Yeah, they died in their beds. I don't reckon I know exactly how they died. I didn't attend their funeral, that's for sure. I can't. But yeah.
And they're buried up on the cemetery where
Oh
Archie's
yeah, they're buried up in Boot Hill too. Not that they deserve to have been buried up there. Should have just drug their bodies out in the well. Forgive me, a young lady should not think such thoughts, but well, they were just such horrible people.
Indeed. Thank you, Miss Gwynn.
Sounds like it, yeah. Well,
have we seen enough? Can we go to the saloon now?
I think there's a good protocol, yeah.
I think the saloon next, and then maybe go and look at Boot Hill Cemetery afterwards.
Lovely.
Because has someone tending the Cobb brothers' graves?
So Miss Gwynn gives you directions to Buckhorn Saloon. It's not far. Most of the most of the live parts of town, they're pretty close together, and so she gives you directions on over. Now,
So, so,
Milt,
so Aaron, just for my mental
Mhm.
image, that the sounds that the town's about 10% size of it was, but is the middle of it still populated like a normal Western town? It's all the outlying buildings that are all deserted and disused.
Yeah, for the most part, like the main street going into town is still populated,
Yeah,
and most of the people live within a block or two of the main street.
gotcha.
That's just because that's where most of the services are now, and the outskirts of town have sort of collapsed in towards this more central location.
Good, thank you.
Now, I warn you, Milt, he's a difficult fella to deal with, but you just tell him you're here on this bounty, and well, I'm sure he'll do what he can to help you. Just don't mention nothing about his hair or his ear. He wears it all slicked down to one side to cover where his ear was torn off. He's got a mite thing about that. So if you want to stay on his good side, I wouldn't mention that.
Definitely won't mention that at all.
What is his good side? Is it left or right? Is it
Well, his tore off his left ear, so his
so
right
his right
side.
side, right?
Yeah, speak
Yeah,
to his
okay.
right side. He'll be better off.
Good. Yeah. No, I certainly understand like wanting to kind of hide from the way you look. As Chuck hides a little bit more into his trench coat.
She pats you on the shoulder. Well, sir, if I may call you Chuck, I think you look just perfect the way you are.
Thank you, miss. Thank you.
It's the inner light that matters, and I can see that you have a good light about you.
Thank you. Let's hope that comes out. Oh no, that means I'm going 4 different ways.
So we close out of that scene out of the bank. You get on your horses, you slowly make your way over towards the Buckhorn Saloon, and it's a standard Western saloon. You've got hitching rails on both sides and large swinging door in the center with Buckhorn Saloon across the writ large across the top.
Does it have the
Excellent.
doors? Say it has those doors.
Oh yeah, it does, of course.
Oh,
Excellent.
awesome. Has to have those doors.
Absolutely.
I shall stride in first, again,
Excellent.
leading the way.
So as you push your way in, you can see an elegant saloon with over 24 gas-fueled crystal chandeliers illuminating a long hall of gambling and billiard tables. You
Mm.
see a bar carved and gilded and highly polished, spanning the length of the hall. You see a man that you recognize based on Miss Gwen's description as Milt, leaning over the bar, polishing a section of the wooden bar. There are several people, even though it's early here, not quite noon. There are several people in here drinking and gambling, and one table right close to Milt has got 4 men deep in a cards game, and they all stop as soon as the door swings open and give you a look for a few heartbeats before they turn back to their cards.
Howdy.
I should just stare at anyone who stares at us.
They sort of just tip their heads a little bit, nod at you. Milt looks up. What you drinking?
Uh,
Sorry, game mechanics. I have a wealth tier of penniless, so can I even afford a beer?
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna turn a man away who needs a beer in the middle of a game. So
Fair enough. Sorry, Dennis, you about to say something?
I'll order a little bit of oil and some oats if you wouldn't mind.
oil and oats. You're in the wrong place for that, sir.
Oh,
I've got whiskey and cool water, and of course beer. I
uh,
recognize y'all. Y'all new to town?
very much so. Yes, just literally just arrived on a bounty.
What? Oh, you hear about old Archie?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Ah,
I
that
heard what
lying
happened.
cuss. That lying cuss. He did not deserve what happened to him, but well.
No, it sounded pretty horrific. What happened to the poor man?
It,
But
yeah, that's the weirdest thing I've seen outside of my bar, and I've seen a lot of weird things in this town.
yeah, It's like Miss Wynn gave us a pretty grim description of what suspended in midair. You couldn't move him even when you brought a mule.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. We tried tugging on him. We got ladders up there and pulled on him, and some fool said, "Well, why did you tie a rope around his waist and the edge of that there mule's saddle and just haul him down that way?" That
Mm.
mule got to pulling, and I thought I heard some creaking and scratching. I was like, "We cannot be pulling this man in half in front of my bar. It'd take forever to clean up those guts." So I stopped all that nonsense, and then sure enough, first ray of sunlight strikes his body and he falls down to the ground.
But did you see how he got up there?
No, no, no. Old Calloway, he was stumbling out drunk to take a leak on the side of the building. Was the first one to see him just dangling there in his long johns.
And he was outside of the building in the
Yeah, just right out front.
Out front.
Basically, if you looked up when you were walking up and you saw the Buckhorn sign, he was basically suspended about 10 feet in the air right in front of the bee.
Ah, amazing.
Wow,
The right kind. Well,
that was definitely something.
Yeah. Why did you? Why? Why you say he was lying? What was that about? Was he telling tall stories or?
Well, I hate to speak ill of the dead, but old Archie had a way of talking. He liked to talk up a storm, and he would say some things that weren't quite right, and he ruffled some feathers. And as you're asking him questions, you see that he's not actually polishing the bar. He's trying to scrub or sand away a burned mark in his bar in the shape of a loop or a noose, very similar to what you saw on Archie's watch.
Mm. Well, now.
And I'll get out the watch and place it next to the burn that he's trying to scrub off of his bar.
He looks down.
I shall reach forward a finger and then trace round the shape of the burn on the bar.
And you see him go a little pale. He's like, "Well, ain't that a thing?
Quite.
I just figured while I was out there trying to get Archie down, I just figured somebody decided to play a nasty trick on me and burn something in my bar. They know how much I care for this bar."
You're not familiar with this sign, no? You've not seen it before.
A loop? I mean, I don't know what it means, but no, can't say that I have.
And when did you first notice this on your bar?
Well, I guess this morning when I was getting set up. I mean, last night was a bit crazy with Archie's body, but I was setting up the glasses and setting up the bar, and that's when I noticed it this morning.
And everyone who was in the bar last night were locals? There's no new people in town like ourselves?
No, it's just locals. You're the first strangers I've seen in town for quite a while. And as Buzz is asking questions, Tall John, you see something unusual in the mirror behind Milt. You see in his reflection, the reflection of him, a noose around his neck, just sort of trailing up in the mirror and fading away.
Okay. I'm going to just blatantly stare at him, at his neck, but I'm going to move away from the side with the ear that he's missing the ear to the other side, so I'm clearly not staring at that, and keep looking at him, and then keep glancing back to the mirror and back at him. So I can't see him. Can I only see it in the reflection?
You can only see it in the reflection. And as you glance back up at the mirror, you see something else in the mirror. Out of the corner, you see a skeletal arm just in the reflection in the mirror with a pistol, and it's pointing at Milt. not pointing at the reflection of Milt, but pointing out the mirror at Milt himself.
Pointing out of the mirror.
Yep, pointing out of the mirror, like the barrel is starting to stick out of the mirror, and you see the hammer get drawn back. I need Tall John to make a quick save. So this is going to be our first attribute save.
So quick and weird.
Correct.
Oh, I've rolled a 9.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, total of 9, an 8 and a 1. Is 10
So
the target? Is it contested?
10 is the target.
Right.
So,
I'm gonna spend my sleeved ace.
Okay.
To make
So
that
makes it an 11. So you automatically pass. So as the gun fires, we see Tall John grab Milt and throw him to the ground. And you see purple flames erupt out of the mirror as a physical bullet buries itself in the wall across from the bar. But neither you or Milt are injured due to your quick reflexes. Milt's angrily spitting and jumping up. He goes, "Who the hell's firing firearms in my saloon?"
You've got some kind of strange infestation here.
Is the mirror still showing a potential assassin?
No, the skeletal hand and gun disappeared as soon as the shot was fired. But as Milt stands up and you look towards the mirror, you see that he's still in the mirror wearing the noose.
Someone's got it out for you, Milt.
What you talking about? Who fired that shot?
Sorry, I should say to Chuck and Buzz, can you see the noose around Milt's neck in the mirror?
Can we?
Yes, you can.
Oh, yes, we can.
Yeah.
And when you ask that,
You've
Milt
been
flips
marked
around.
for death.
Because what? What do you? And he gets even wider and he's beginning to sweat a lot, sweating through his shirt. And in fact, as he's sweating through the shirt, you smell again that same smell you smelled in the bank, that very strong, earthy scent. It had been hidden by the smell of the whiskey and everything, but as he's sweating, it's coming out a little bit more from his pores. He goes, listen, fellas, I don't know if you've heard of the Cobb brothers. They were lawmen in this. Oh, you have heard about them. All right. Well, listen, they hated me. They wanted this place for themselves. They stole a faro game in here. And they wanted me dead. And I figure they wanted me dead when they were alive. Mayhaps they want me dead now, too. There's got to be those Cobb boys.
Well, we've been offered a bounty by Miss Wynne to investigate this. Now, seems to me that you might have a vested interest in increasing that bounty.
Listen, way I hear
Don't want your bar, don't want your saloon, but you could line our pockets if we manage to solve this and save you.
Well, you know what? Listen here. Way I hear it, you got to burn the bodies of the cowboys. You go up there and you burn their bodies, and I'll up the bounty to 5 chips.
5 chips each.
8. Well, 3 from the Grand Union and 2 from me. So you have 5 in total, and a glass of cool water for free every day that you're in town.
No.
That's
Aaron,
that's really valuable, isn't it?
Oh, yes. That's the only
Aaron,
way to get pure water.
Can you tell us about cool water?
So cool water, so all of the water in this land is tainted by the weird, which is one of the reasons why King City has so much weird actions, because there's a river flowing near it. So there's a process to distill weird tainted water into pure drinking water, which they call cool water. And that's also how chips, which is the weird silver that you use to improve your big irons, is made. So cool water is very valuable. It's more valuable than gold. because it's really the only safe thing to drink. And it's the only, like if you're brewing things or distilling things, you need cool water to make it if you want to make it safe for people to drink. So it's incredibly valuable.
Fabulous. Yeah, that sounds great. We'll have that deal.
Well, all right then.
Can anyone else smell that earthy smell again?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
all of you smell it.
I smelt it off the mayor as well. Did you? I think we should go and talk to the mayor because, right, Milt, your life's on the line. I think you need to be honest with us. Who killed the Cobb brothers? Were you involved? Is this some revenge of theirs playing out that we need to step in and try and stop? Because
Listen,
was Archie involved in killing the Cobb brothers?
listen, Archie gossiped too much, and he talked about the wrong people at the wrong times. I don't know if he had anything, if he said anything that might have angered the Cobb brothers or not. I was not involved in the death of the Cobb brothers. They're low down snakes that they were, but I mean, no man but a fool would go up against them.
So
Go-
how can I try and tell if he's lying or not?
That's what I was just getting to. So, you can give me either a reckon or spirit. So reckon would be like you're making an educated guess against the kind of person he is, to try to determine whether or not he's lying to you. Spirit would be more like you're just trying to get to the essence of who this guy is. So either one of them are going to be, it's either going to be reckon or spirit with expression.
Okay. 7. No.
Okay. You're like, he seems legitimately terrified and forthright. I mean, he's offered you more money, he's offered you more chips, he's offered you something to help get him out of this. And he is genuinely terrified. So he seems to be being honest with you.
I suggest you take the mirror or outside or something.
I'm going to close up the bar for the day. And I mean,
Probably best.
Stay away from mirrors.
Do
holy
you?
shit.
Does anyone here have a small hand mirror that we could borrow?
Well, I don't have nothing like that. Slick over in the barbershop probably does. You already met with Miss Gwen. I assume as a lady she might have one, but can't say that I need one here. I get my shaves over at Slick's barbershop, so don't have a mirror in my own room.
You don't have any hostesses here who might have one?
Hostesses. You must be from one of those fancy places like Dodge City or Denver. No, I've got some girls and boys that work upstairs, but I tend bar and I sling the drinks. Ain't nobody waiting on no tables here.
But because one of them might have a mirror.
Yeah, I can't rightly say one way or the other. You can go upstairs and check if you want.
If it just goes to barbers always have.
They'll all be sleeping right now. They work the nights, if you know what I mean.
Let's go to the barbers. I think you're right, Buzz.
Why do we need a mirror?
Because I want to look at the mayor's reflection, see if he's got a noose around his neck.
Oh gosh, yes. That's clever.
And also, as we start to do this, I think it'd be good to keep an eye on each other and see if we've got nooses around our necks.
Cool. How do you ask humans why they smell funny? How do they don't react well to that, do they?
Probably not on his good side.
No. Because they're all smelling this strange earthy way, which you people don't normally smell.
Correct.
Off to the barbers then.
Yeah, let's go visit Slick.
It's easy to find. You ask a couple of questions. It's just a few streets over, and you see you come up. Barber shop's got a couple. It's got a bench out front. The door's wide open. You see two barber chairs in there. No customers at the moment. You see a man standing. Looks like he's sharpening a straight razor.
Has
Looks
any
up
of you,
as you. Oh, go ahead.
have either of you got any money to buy a mirror?
Yes. Uh, I'm hard up. I'm not penniless, so I've got some money in the bank, apparently. And there is a bank.
That is true.
Can I have a la Blades in the Dark, a flashback to withdrawing a chip for a mirror?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you.
You've got some hard cash that you got from Miss Gwen at the bank. As you walk in, the barber turns and looks at you. He's like, good afternoon. Well, that is good morning, gentlemen. Well, no, I guess it is afternoon now. Good afternoon, gentlemen. It is so good to have new customers. He looks over at Chuck and Buzz. He's like, I do haircuts and shaves. I can also set you up with a bath in the back. What you do notice as soon as he starts talking, it is pervasive throughout the entire barbershop. This very earthy smell is everywhere in the barbershop. He's like, gentlemen, I've, he's looking right at you, Chuck. I can do a trim for you. Looking over at Buzz, he's like, sir, I have tonic water. Cologne help. Everyone in town seems to like it. You could smell it in here. Well, I just don't know exactly what to tell you. But he looks over at Tall John. He goes, now you, sir, I can definitely provide some assistance for, but I can set you all up the bath or something. What is it that I can do for three fine gentlemen in my barber shop today?
We'd like to buy a little hand mirror.
A hand mirror? Well, like a shaving mirror? I could take care of that for you, no problem. And he goes over, walks around, and he's standing in front of his large mirror.
Yeah, about to ask.
And you all three notice a noose around his neck in the mirror. He's bending over. He pulls out a small shaving mirror. He's like, well, here you go. Is this all you need? I mean, I got no customers right now. I can set you up.
Tell me about this cologne that everyone seems to be wearing.
Oh, you like it, do you? It's a good smell for a man. Very good smell for a man. And well, I offer it. Like if someone comes in to get a shave or a haircut, I'll dab them up a little bit for free. But some of the folks in town that like it quite a bit, so they'll buy a bottle from me. I make it myself.
Do you make it in the bath?
No, not in the bath. I got a special tub out back where I make it. And he points over and you see a bookshelf and it's lined with books. He goes, I got a special recipe handed down to me from my Meemaw years ago. It's a tonic. My grandpa, he wore the same tonic his whole life. I figured, why not bring it up to to this wonderful town?
And is the tonic, sorry, this is me asking, is the tonic the thing that smells earthy, or is it the thing that's covering up an earthy smell?
It is the thing that smells earthy. When he opens a bottle of the tonic to show you, it is definitely the smell of it.
Thanks, Rob, because I asked the same question. I was confused.
Right, yes. Mainly the mirror. Definitely we may come back for baths. And yeah, I think
I may come back for a shave, but
yes.
Well,
does everyone in the town buy your cologne?
Well, not everyone. I mean, anybody who wants one after a shave or a haircut gets a little dab, but it's a little pricey. The ingredients are hard to find. So, I mean, some of the more well-to-do, like Milt, he owns a Buckhorn Saloon up the street a ways. He's got he often buy a bottle. He likes the smell, and I'm proud to say that Mayor Grady, he also he'll buy. But I mean, he's the water baron, and Milt's got the license to sell cool water. So between the two of them, they're not exactly poor folk.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
I think we need to find a poor person who lives here
Yeah,
and then point the mirror at them.
yeah.
Thank you.
Just with the hand mirror, once we get outside,
Mhm.
I want to look at my own reflection, and then the two of them, and just at Chuck and Buzz, and just see if any of us are showing signs as well.
You are not. There's no spectral noose around your necks in the mirror.
Does anyone want to try some cologne?
No.
Righto. Someone suggested we go and burn the bodies. Can I just ask the barber if, in my experience, colognes are made from all sorts of weird things like whale blubber and otter noses. What's this made of?
Oh well, since you're strangers and all, I'm happy to share with you. I'm not going to tell you the whole recipe, but
No,
the
of course.
main ingredient is moonflowers. They're a beautiful white flower, but they don't grow hardly anywhere. But whole batch of them started growing up on Boot Hill over one of the graves, and I go up there and I pick those flowers, and then the next day they're all back.
Was that one of the Cobb graves?
Boot Hill's
Oh,
the graveyard.
you heard about the Cobb brothers? You worked fast. What? Well, yeah. It's actually the flowers only grow on the Cobb grave. Well, they were. It's not graves. I figure you probably already heard they were not well liked, so they were all buried together in one grave. But yeah, the moonflowers grow up all over that grave.
Great. So was our plan to go to the Boot Hill next anyway?
Well, I've been intending to. I was suggesting we go to the to see the mayor, but I think the Boot Hill's much more interesting now. I think that's become
Yeah.
much more interesting, if you two
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
Just, just,
great.
just, just one last thing, Slick.
Yes.
Do you? How did you get on with the Cobb brothers? Did they have a grievance against you, real or imagined?
Well, the Cobb brothers had grievances against everybody whose last name wasn't Cobb. I mean, I had to give them their haircuts and shaves for free. But as long as I gave them their haircuts and shaves for free, well, they didn't hassle me too much. I mean, nothing like Milt or some of the others, but no, they were not nice people. I mean, I got slapped around a little bit if they didn't like a shave, but nothing worse than that.
Do you know who? Do you know who was involved? They died suddenly in the night. Do you know who
And
was involved?
he looks up and looks around and goes, I I don't think I could rightly say who would be involved with such a heinous act like that. I'm
Well, it
I,
sounds like a mercy killing to free
well,
the
I mean,
town.
a mercy to the town, maybe, but I, yeah, I don't really, I can't rightly say who I think. And he's looking around. He's acting a little shifty.
Can I try and if the others can do it as well? Can try and judge if he's lying.
Yep. Anybody and everybody who wants to give me a spirit and expression roll.
Spirit and expression.
Yeah, so you're kind of trying to get a sense of who he is as opposed to
Okay, because last time you said reckon or spirit.
you can use reckon too if you want.
Ooh,
That's
there we
more
go,
of
reckon.
that's more analyzing,
Yeah.
his actions, and spirit is more getting at the essence of who he is.
I failed.
Okay.
I got an 11 and a 10.
Holy crap on a cracker. An 11 and a 10. So with 21, that is enough to sleeve 4 aces.
Right.
So you know without a doubt that this man is terrified and lying to you. about virtually everything he said about the Cobb brothers, except for the fact that they were bullies.
Can I use one of those aces to have a look-see
Absolutely.
ask something extra? And as
Mhm.
a detective, I get 2 extra questions.
That's right.
Yay. Um, Now we understand that the Cobb brothers were horrible people, right? Presenting
Well, yeah.
themselves as sheriffs, as lawmen, and they proved to be thugs to everyone they met, right? So you and the entire town would be perfectly justified to give them their comeuppance, in my eyes, and I think in the eyes of my fellow Mavericks here as well. So there is no need for you to hold back if you want to like give us anything to go on here, because we are trying to stop more murders happening, and these Cobb brothers, even though they are long dead, seem to be exacting some kind of revenge upon the town. So if there is any information that you can share, please do so. Um, do you know who was involved?
And you see almost like his spine almost collapses and he sort of slips down into his barber chair. He puts his head in his hands, takes a big sigh, and he looks up at you and he says, "Listen, Archie didn't deserve what happened to him, and I'm almost certain it's the Cobb brothers that come back for us. Listen, you got to promise me that that this isn't going to go any further. The people involved in this, that if they heard me telling you what's happened, well, I'd be lucky just to get run out of town. If you understand what I'm saying."
What happens in Slicks stays at Slicks.
All right, listen, Milt, owner of the Buckhorn Saloon. He owns the cool water rights in town, the distribution rights, gets them from the mayor. Um, the way he told it to me was old Archie, while he was currying the post, found out some information that the Cobb brothers were going to try to slide in on the cool water trade, that they were going to set up their own stills and they were going to compete against Milt. Milt couldn't have none of that. The cool water is what made him rich. So he came to me and he told me, he said, "Slick, I'm not going to give you another drop of cool water to drink or to use in your shop again unless you help me deal with them Cobb boys." Well, I'm not just a barber, I'm a bit of a remedy man. I got a bit of the hoodoo in me from way back to my granny's time. And points over the book. He goes, "I made a fetish for Milt called the Lawman's Lariat." And and Milt, you didn't hear this from me. Milt used it
Hmm?
to kill them Cobb boys and scare off their fourth partner. And I mean, and then everything went back to normal. And nothing happened. It's been a whole year and nothing happened. But but
A
I'm
year
afraid
to
they're
the
back
day.
now.
A year to
Well,
the day.
a year it'll be a year to the day tonight. They died a year ago tonight on a full moon. And please, you can't tell Milt I told no one. Please don't take me away. I got a family here. I was just trying to survive. We couldn't live without the cool water. I don't want any of my kids to. And he looks over at Chuck and Buzz. I don't want any of my kids to be touched by the weird. I apologize for saying that out loud,
No, you don't need to. I wouldn't wish this on anyone.
but so I confess I helped Milt. I made him the lariat, and he opens up a book, a false book, and he pulls out a loop of braided hair with some kind of weird roots and wildflowers and thorny vines weaved through it. He goes, I swept up the Cobb brothers' hair from their heads and beards for a while and braided this together and called up called up the old ways to make it. And it's still be a potent tool against the Cobb brothers. I'll give it to you if you swear to not tell anybody about my involvement in this.
Yeah, you got a deal on that one.
So he passes over the lawman's lariat, and mechanically speaking, as a complex action, if you make a wrangle check using it and succeed, you would inflict the hobbled and stunned afflictions on any living dead target within short range until the end of the round.
Mm.
And the action can be repeated by the lariat's holder until the end of the scene. So it's a way to deal
crowd
with
control.
that. Yep. And so if you're looking at hobbled, the hostile cannot move. All attacks against the hostile are raised, which means you take your lowest of the 2 dice and you increase it by 1 dice size. And stunned, all successful attacks on this hostile deal an additional 2 aces. So you would get aces from successful attacks that you could then use to do critical hits or inflict ailments, etc.
Very nice. Who's good at wrangling? Because I'm not.
Nah.
No, all right. I think that may have been a skill all three of us. By the
I am
sounds of it.
I am D6.
Yeah, so
Same.
All right.
I'll keep a hold of it for now then.
You've got it just in case it comes up.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, while that conversation was going on, because you said that Slick's got a noose in the mirror, we saw a noose around his neck.
that is
I
correct.
want to look round his barber shop. Can I see the loop symbol anywhere?
Yeah, so as you're looking, it takes you a few minutes, but you see actually under the barber's chair that he's sitting on, under the seat itself, there is a burned loop in the seat.
I shall point that out to him.
Oh no, the Cobb brothers are going to come for me too. Listen, y'all got to stop them. You got to stop them.
Is it possible to remove this burnt bit from the seat?
I mean, you'd have to replace the whole seat. It's burned in there pretty deep.
Okay. All right.
And it seems like, as I said about on the pocket watch, it's definitely of a supernatural or weird origin.
Yeah.
So our poor courier died at midnight. An attempt on the saloon boss was near
At
enough to
midnight.
noon.
Yeah. Well, we better get to the cemetery for midnight then.
Yeah.
Slick, before we leave,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I would suggest that you close up for the day, go home, and turn any mirrors that you have so they face the wall. Something came out the mirror and tried to kill Milt.
Oh no. I'll do it. I'll walk out right now and head for home. And we don't even have a mirror in my house. I just have them all here in the shop. So, oh Lord, please don't
I'm
order
sure
for my kids.
I'm sure your wife will have a mirror though, so
Oh,
make sure
yes.
that's all face down.
Oh, thank you, sir. I forgot all about that. Yes. Oh,
And sorry, Buzz, you've got the mirror, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think make sure that is it's covered as such in a pocket or something like that.
Right.
so Slick walks you out, locks the door, shakes each of your hands. He says, "I promise if you get me out of this and you don't rat me out, don't tell Milt or the mayor, no one. Free haircuts, shaves, and baths whenever you want them, for as long as you're in town."
Not gonna turn away a bath. That'd be good. Nice.
Well, my character is filthy and in need of a bath, so actually, quite I've put his photo up, his image up. You can see he's clearly in need of duck out the way. Yeah, bit of a wash and clean. I had a character. I did think whether we should try and get some money out of this guy as well, but that felt a little bit too mercenary on him.
So, where would you like to go? As the barber shop's locked up, it's early afternoon at this point. Maybe 2 o'clock.
I think many arrows are pointing towards the graveyard, right? Boot Hill.
Yeah, and even before midnight.
Yeah.
So yeah.
My thought about the mayor was all connected to the scent, because I thought that was a sign that you actually had the lariat thing around your neck, the rope thing around your neck. But actually, if that's just a cologne people are buying, then
that's what I was wondering as well. Old Chuck is a learned man, an educated man dog robot. Does is a moonflower, is that a known thing? Is that
Give me a reckon education test.
sure?
I also have
reckon
Aaron, just while he's doing that,
Mhm.
I have a question for Slick before he goes off.
Sure.
But obviously resolve Chuck's thing first.
Nope. I rolled a 9. I'll use one of my sleeved aces to turn that into an 11.
Fantastic. It is an unusual flower. Does not normally grow in this climate, and it can be used to make poisons in enough quantity. It can be very
Okay.
dangerous.
And he's using it to make it a tonic.
Yes,
Oh.
but a much smaller dosage, as you would assume. But
I know.
what was your question for Slick?
Slick, one member of the Cobb brothers gang escaped. What was his name?
Oh, let me see here. Yeah, that fella, he took off the day they died. What was his name? Let me see. This isn't Aaron just looking through to see if he can find the guy's name. Hollis. I think his name was Hollis. Hollis Dayton. I heard he scattled back down New Orleans way.
Hollis Dayton.
Dayton. Hollis Dayton. He was a mean cuss too, but he's pretty much just a hired gun for the Cobb brothers. I think they had been friends for way back, maybe during the war, but
Actually, one other question, Slick.
absolutely.
Is there a church near the graveyard? Is there a pastor or someone in town? Or is that long gone?
No, I mean, so above the graveyard, there's a cliff, and up at the top of the cliff, there's an old fortified church. Now, I wouldn't exactly say that there's any God-fearing people in that church. It was taken over by Augustus Man Diaz, old Augie. He's a rough and tumble man. He's got all his hired guns up there. He kind of lords it over. It's like his tower watching over all of King City. Fella owns most of the city. I mean, heck, he even has the note on my barbershop. Difficult man. He and the mayor don't see eye to eye at all. They constantly tussling over the vision for King City.
Mm.
In fact, there even rumors say it that it was old Augie himself who hired the Cobb brothers to come in here and cause trouble in town to make the mayor look weak so he could take over the whole town. But those are just rumors.
Be a clever ploy.
Well, I wouldn't cross him if I was you. He's a hard man. He shoots first, and he's surrounded by more guns than any man else in the whole city.
No worries. Like one job at a time. One job at a time.
Don't tell him I said none of that either. Good Lord, he's scarier than milk.
Bear that in mind. The many, many guns as well.
Hmm.
All right.
So are you gonna head off to Boot Hill?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
As we're
So
walking up there,
Mhm.
um, I think the suggestion of trying to burn the Cobb's bodies is a good one.
Yeah.
It seems a slightly unsavory thing to do, but might be wise to dig them up before daylight ends and before it gets dark, and do it as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely before midnight.
Sounds
Yeah, that's
delightful.
I like it. So it takes you guys, so you have to head out to the outskirts of town, and the cemetery is on the outskirts. You go through the old, disused portions of town, and you get out to Boot Hill. It takes you maybe a half an hour to wind your way around and get through there. And as you were approaching up to Boot Hill, you see very rocky terrain. You see graves and grave markers laid out. Most of them just wooden boards with information carved in them. Some of them nicer, some of them stone from people who obviously had money to burn. But it's quite obvious where the Cobb brothers are buried, because their grave and their grave alone is covered in these white flowers, and the smell, that earthy smell coming off.
Well, there they are.
Should we pick the flowers before we dig them up?
Well, before anything, I want to have a look around the graveyard. Sorry, the grave rather. Are there any tracks? Has anyone been going to the going to visit the graves? Has anyone been walking around the grave? Has anyone climbed out the grave and walked away?
Give me a reckon and bushcraft check.
Now I've got tracker.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, once per stretch, succeed on a failed bushcraft check and sleeve an ace. Okay, so I roll first. So sorry, bushcraft and what was it? Sorry.
I'll reckon.
Yeah. Um, bushcraft is that 9. I will use my tracker thing. I'm
Uh-huh.
assuming a 9's a fail. Yeah.
That is a fail, yes.
Yeah. So I will succeed, and then I succeed, and I leave an ace. Okay.
All right. So you're looking around, and at first, I mean, you're seeing tracks. There are people who come up to some of these graves fairly regularly. But what really starts to catch your eyes is you're looking around where Archie is buried, and that's a fresh grave. And then you look at the Cobb brothers' grave, and you realize that there's no way that this grave was dug a year ago. It looks like the soil has recently been turned over, almost as if somebody has already dug the grave up and then filled it back in.
Why
If
on
you were the
earth?
living, if you were the living dead, or if I was the living dead, I probably wouldn't bother sort of re-putting the earth, or how could I even put the earth back over me when I climbed into my coffin? There has to be other people involved if people are getting out of coffins.
Well, what I wondered whether it's not actually the Cobbs, it's Hollis Darton,
Dayton.
Hollis Dayton, and that he has maybe dug up their graves to get some kind of bit of them for a fetish like that lariat thing, which then manages to use the Cobb's power, because what was described as being happening with the way the lariat works is not what's been described as happening to guy, I've forgotten his name, who we're investigating the death of.
Archie
Archie.
Maddox.
It's not Archie's death, and not what we witnessed. The attempt on Milt. So should we dig the grave up to see if there's still bodies in there?
Yeah, we're gonna have to,
Yeah.
aren't we? We've got to be sure.
Right. So you bend your backs to it and you start shoveling away the dirt. It's a little easier because obviously this dirt is not as compacted as it should be, but it still takes you several hours. In fact, dusk is starting to fall as you strike your shovels against something steel. And as you uncover more of it, you see it's a large steel drum in there. There's no lid on one end, and the stench smells like old decay, brittle bones, and
Is that unusual to put people in oil drums, or
very unusual. This is very unusual. And in fact, as you're looking at the drum, you see somebody has sprawled it looks like they etched into the side of the drum and then covered it in something red or rust color. And it says, "Here rise the Cobb brothers. From hell they do ascend. Each murdered in bed, life's blood shed. Recompense still to be paid with lead."
Sorry, that's written on the drum.
That's written on the outside of the steel drum.
is it in blood?
It give me a.
I think I'd know.
Oh yeah, you would absolutely, Buzz. You can smell the old blood. It is written in blood, and you're all seasoned mavericks. You've been around the weird for a while. This sounds like a summoning ritual. Someone has used some hoodoo or old magic, perhaps, to raise the Cobb brothers.
So they're not, in essence, guilty of any offense. It's the person who's using them.
Yeah,
Well, they possibly, yes.
Well, it could be this Hob guy getting revenge for his old friends. It could be this Augustus guy. If he employed them once, maybe he's decided to make further use of them.
also possible. They are, though, like, the remains are still in this barrel.
Yes, you can see three bodies have been crammed together in this barrel. I mean, they're not, you can't distinguish any kind of features after a year in here, but there are definitely, you can see three skulls in and amongst the putrefying flesh and skeletal remains.
This smell on a bloodhound's nose is particularly horrid. But they are nicely together in a barrel, and that makes burning them really easy.
Yeah,
if you get my meaning.
yeah. Can we pull the barrel? Should we take the barrel out of the grave, or just
Stand it
set it
upright
aflame?
and set it alight, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Sure.
Is there sort of fences around the is there fences around the graveyard and stuff like that?
I mean, there's an old half broken down picket fence that encloses the graveyard. Not enough to keep anyone out or in.
I shall go and acquire a few bits of that to add some fuel.
Okay.
To then start to build a fire. I'm sure. I'm sure Tall John has built a fire before, so.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No roll even necessary. So you guys take some time, you build a pyre around the steel drum and inside of it, and you light it on fire as night begins to fall and the three bodies begin to burn. The bone begins to crack. Yes.
Let's move off away and see if that brings anyone here.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
and you move off and you watch the flames grow higher,
Hiding somewhere.
hiding there in the cemetery, as the moon rises and the full moon's light touches the graveyard. And from that grave, out of the moonlight, steps three spectral figures wearing tattered long coats and vests, carrying big irons themselves, with tarnished badges on their lapels, skeletal, desiccated features with pinpoint red eyes, their jaws hanging loose, and a cackling noise coming out. And you can only assume that this is the Cobb gang.
Do they
Are
appear to
they
be
make?
aware of us?
Yeah.
At the moment, they do not seem to be aware of you. They seem to be making their way. They turn and make their way down towards town.
So burning their bodies.
Doesn't seem to have affected them at all.
Oh. Should we
What
follow?
should you do?
I think we need to try and put a stop to them.
Yes. Yes.
Right, so
All right, so they don't see you coming, and it really wouldn't matter. So the interesting way that combat works in Huckleberry is Mavericks get to go first. I would normally pick somebody who seems like the most reasonable person who started the fight, but since you guys are doing it together, I'll let you pick. Then after that person's gone, using their simple action and their complex action, then one of the adversaries will go. And then we continue that until all of the Mavericks have gone. Then I have an upkeep phase where I sort of clean things up depending on how things went on. And then we would go into the next round. Now, real quick for everybody, an idea of what you're looking at when it comes to simple actions versus complex actions. Simple action is something like aim your weapon. If you aim as your simple action, you get a raise on your next skill check, which could be an attack. You can assist the next Maverick. Like if you don't think you've got anything that's going to be able to help you, you can assist the next another Maverick, which automatically raises their next skill check. You can draw your big iron. You can hunker down, which allows you to raise your next saving throw against harm or your next attribute save. You can move up to short range. You can do a quick reload, which is just a one reload for your big iron. So those are all like simple actions. Complex actions are attack, whatever kind of attack you're using, a full reload of your weapon, skedaddle, which is when you basically run away from the scrape. Patch up is when you treat an ailment. So if one of you gets afflicted by an ailment, either yourself or somebody else, you could take your complex action to patch somebody else, which helps reduce the ailment, which we'll get into if you guys get hit. Or you could like throw a large item. An important thing you can also to note is that if you have sleeved aces, you can discard a sleeved ace to get a second simple action. So it gives you a little bit of action economy in there. In addition, if you hit, you can use your aces during combat. You can spend 2 aces, either from your roll or sleeved aces, to deal critical damage to your target, which is after the slash where it says your damage, you do your base damage, and then after that slash, you could add that critical damage into it, or you could inflict an ailment on them based on what kind of ailments your big irons have. So there are different mechanics here, and we'll walk through them slowly the first few times here. So who would like to go first, and what simple and complex action would you like to take?
I would suggest I go last because I've got quite a ranged weapon, and I think both of you like to get into close or even melee, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a shotgun which is short. I need to be relatively close.
I've got for range, I've got this tomahawk, but it's so tricked out. It costs like 14 chips, so I think I'll put a million things on it. One of them means it doesn't have to be in short range. Yeah, but balanced, I think that is. But yeah, I'm happy. Dennis, if you want to go with your shotgun, feel free.
Yeah, sure. We'll go and find out if shotguns work against specters.
All right. So you're in short range still because they've just started walking away when you decided to engage in them. So you've got your shotgun.
Mm.
What would you like to do with your simple action?
Sorry, Aaron, I'm just going
Yes.
AFK a sec. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay.
Okay. So,
I will probably use that to aim.
Okay.
Taking this time, like they've not seen us, so I'll take my time to like pull the arm out of the sleeve of my duster, which has the entire shotgun kind of mounted on top of it. The whole thing is this uh brass
Mhm.
looking contraption. Take my time to aim and blammo, basically.
Okay. So that'll be a grit and long arm check. Now, what is your grit die and what is your long arm die?
Grit is a D8. Long gun is also a D8.
Okay, so either one of those becomes a D10.
Cool.
Because this is you managed to raise this. So it's a D10 and a D8. You're looking for a 10.
And we're looking for a 10.
Now, are you aiming at of the three, are you aiming at the one in the front or one of the other two?
Let's go for the one in the front.
I like it.
Oh.
Aiming at old Earl Cobb, the
Earl.
elder.
Have it, Earl. That is a 9. I keep rolling 9s. I do still have a sleeved ace. Can I add
You can
2?
indeed.
Yeah. Excellent. I'll do that.
So you get 11. So you hit. What kind of damage does your big iron do, and what is its base damage?
It does lead poisoning damage, and it's a base damage of 8.
8. Okay, so the shotgun roars, boom, and you see this buckshot tear through Earl's body. And he stops and staggers a little bit. And then his head creaks around, and you hear the vertebrae popping. And his head literally goes 180 degrees, turns around, and he's looking right back at you.
Hi, Earl.
You definitely struck him, but it looks like the damage from the shotgun didn't fully go through. Didn't do as much damage as you were expecting from that.
Sure.
And then his entire body seems to twist around slowly, almost as if it's trying to catch up with his head, as he's facing back towards you now. And since Earl was shot, we'll let Earl go first for the bad guys. So this is going to involve an attribute slave. Now, one of the cool things about Huckleberry, it's primarily a player-facing game. In other words, the players make pretty much all the rolls. They roll their skill checks and they roll their attribute saves. Where the GM comes in is I have a fancy deck of cards and I pull the top card off and it's going to give me a suit. And that tells us what the adversary as attack is and tells us what the Mavericks save is going to be against. Now, if I pull up an ace, I keep pulling up cards until I don't get aces. If I pull up an ace, the Maverick gets to sleeve the ace. If I pull up a Joker, something else happens, and we'll see if that happens when I pull it up. So my first card is a 3 of spades. So it's not a face card. If it's a face card, the attack is more dangerous. But since it's not a face card, we're looking at a spade. So that's going to be a quick attribute save from you. So what it looks like is as he turns around, he lifts up his own shotgun and fires it at you.
So my quick is a D10, and of course the weird die is still a D10, so it's 2D10 as a save for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that is another 9.
Oh my God. Another 9. Do you have any sleeved aces left?
I have 1 sleeved ace left. And
do you want to use it or?
Yeah, I probably don't want to get hit by a shotgun, so I will discard my last one.
Fantastic. So both barrels burst. What's it look like as you get out of the way?
It's probably just a nosedive to the side. Like I blast him, I see it not do as much as I can. He raises his own. I'm like, wah! Dive behind the gravestone, I guess.
And you hear a spectral, wispy growl come out of him. He's like, and you hear, "Come on, brothers. Looks like we got some trouble to handle before we take care of Milt and Slick." And you see his two brothers start to turn around. But it is now either Buzz or Tall John's turn.
Well, if Tall John was going to go last, I'll go next and move into short range. That's my short.
You're already in short range, so you don't have
I'm
to
already
move.
in short
You're
range.
in short range.
Okay, so then can I do them in the other way around? Can I attack and then move?
Absolutely.
Kind of. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to throw my tomahawk at Earl.
All right. So I believe that is quick and athletics.
Quick and
Athletics.
sure. Athletics. That's a D12 and a D8. And D12. And then that much is 16, 12, and 4.
Oh, all right. With a 16, that exceeds your 10 by 6. You get 3 aces on this. Now,
can I use my cheroot to give me another? It's my signature route. It's a cigarillo, and I think that says whenever if I pass once per stretch, if I pass a quick test, I can get something else. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it. Cigarillo used during a successful quick check to be dealt an additional ace.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
So you're chewing on that cigarillo, and aces are coming up for you. So you've got 4 aces.
Okay, so I got 4 aces. So this I don't, if these things are ghosts or specters or whatever.
They are semi-physical. I mean, he got hit with that shotgun blast. You saw him take damage. So they are not actually ghosts. There's something in between.
Okay, so this tomahawk is poisoned and serrated, which means things I should have looked at. Let me just find that.
It means it's poisoned and serrated.
Yeah, poison. Yeah, let me scroll up. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Take your time. This is all of our first time, so this is a learning experience for everybody. So let's get it right.
Serrated says that the weapon can impose bleeding. I'm not sure. And then poison says the weapon can impose rattled. So I don't know about the can impose. Am I using aces to impose these things, or?
So if that's part of your big iron, and I may be getting this wrong, but I'm gonna go with it because I think it's fun and fast. If you hit and do damage, that those apply.
Okay, so it's yeah, then it's rattled, and the other thing I said was it's bleeding.
Okay. So
sorry, I haven't finished. An imposing imposing bleeding costs 1 ace instead of 2. So I think that's there that does cost, but whatever. And I've got maximum aces anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I've got 4 aces, so I don't get any more.
Okay, so what's the base damage from your tomahawk, and who are you throwing it at?
It's an Earl, and the base is 5.
Okay.
And with 3 critical. Have I critted?
So you have to spend 2 aces. If you spend 2 aces, then you get the critical damage as well.
Consider them spent.
Okay. So that's a total of 8. Then?
Yeah.
All right. And that does seem to all go through, striking at this reverend. And we're going to go ahead and give the rattled and bleeding condition to him as well. Even if I'm wrong. So the hostile suffers your base damage, 5 damage, at the start of your next turn. So every time your turn comes up, remind me that he is bleeding unless he stops the bleeding. And rattled means all saves against this hostile are raised. So every time Earl takes an action against any of you, your save against that action is automatically raised. But now one of the other Cobb boys turns and looks, seeing that tomahawk sticking in his brother's chest. And we pull a 5 of clubs from one of the other Cobb brothers. So this is going to be a grit attribute save for you. And what you see is he pulls out his revolver and fans the wheel as bullets come flying at you. So this is going to be a grit attribute save against Buzz. So your weird die and your grit die.
Yeah, sure. My grit is 10 and my weird dice is 10, so it's 2d10. Bang, bang. And yeah, I have rolled a 13, a 5, and an 8.
13 is a success. You don't get aces off of your save, so you
Sure.
won't get another ace, but you did succeed. So what's it look like as Buzz gets out of the way of this flying lead?
Proper Matrix bullet time. You know, he sort of twists around the bullet as he's continuing to close now because he hadn't quite he was going to close in on one of the two. So as he runs, he's closing round towards one of the other cobs.
Fantastic. And by the way, Stephen, the creator of this incredible game, did chime in. So each one of those inflictions would have caused 2 sleeved aces, but since I screwed up, we're going to leave it as is, and going forward, we're gonna work within the rules. I get too excited about this stuff. So damn fun.
Sure, I had 4 anyway, so and it would have cost me 3 to do those 2 things. So I'm fine with it anyway.
Okay. All right, so you managed to get out of the way, bringing us to Tall John.
Right, so I shall take aim and I'm going to fire at Earl because he's already been attacked this round. So my steadfast disposition
Absolutely
means that I raise. So I say, sorry, it's long guns and what stat?
Long guns and grit.
Yeah, so this is about to be massive. So
Now,
it's normally
so,
a D12 and a D10, and it's now become 2D12.
That is a fact. Come on.
And yeah, all my rate, I could be shooting you about half a mile away, but I'd like to move. No, actually, I'm not going to move further away. I'm not going to abandon my friends, but yeah. 14.
14, that's a hit and 2 aces. So what kind of damage does the dentist do? It'd be like lead
base
poisoning.
of 3. Lead poisoning. Lead poisoning.
Okay.
And a base of 3 and a critical of, sorry, base of 6 and a critical of 3.
Okay. You could spend your 2 aces to get the critical damage if you want.
Is that how's that work? Is that an additional 3 points?
Yes, so that would be 9 in total.
And sorry, how many aces does that require?
2.
I think I'd like to put 1 down, so I'm going to spend those 2.
Okay. So the dentist fires out and the round strikes Earl. Once again, his flesh seems to resist it a little bit, and the round punctures in, but it doesn't do as much damage as you would expect, but it does hurt Earl. And now you can see grave dirt and congealed black blood leaking out of the holes in his body as he's beginning to stagger a little bit. Go ahead. You still got a simple action to go.
Well, actually, sorry. I was actually going to say about aiming. That would have.
Well, D12. You're already at 2 D12. So
you add no benefit. Okay, yeah. Do I need to knock off a point of ammo?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So
no, you're fine.
put a shot into him, and then
you could hunker down to make your next save raised. You could move whatever you'd like.
I shall hunker down.
All right. So your next attribute save, which is going to come up right now, is going to be
raised.
Is going to be raised. So the third member of the Cobb gang. Oh, ace of spades. So that's going to be a sleeved ace for Tall John.
Oh, right.
Okay, so 7 of diamonds. So you get 1 sleeved ace, and you're going to be doing a diamond attribute save. So what this looks like is No, actually, he whirls around, wildly shooting lines of purple ethereal flame and lead. So this actually targets all three of you in range because he's just fanning his gun. So everyone needs to give me a reckon attribute save. And Tall John's, yours is raised.
And so just for visualization, this is Earl doing this, or the third one?
This is the third cob brother.
Okay. I've rolled exactly 10.
You rolled a 10, so you're okay. Chuck, Buzz, how'd you do?
Chuck's fine.
Buzz
I
is
rolled
fine?
a 6. So
6.
no, I am not fine. I'm the opposite of that.
If you have 2 aces sleeved, you could pass.
No, because we retroactively used them. So no, I want to be hit with something.
So I have a game mechanics question. I've got 2 sleeved aces now because I had one saved up from earlier. Can I pass those to a different player? Can I do something to?
No, you could, if you had a simple action available to you, which you don't because it's not your turn, you would be able to raise a different Maverick's next check. But you basically have to proactively do that.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, I was just checking mechanics.
So Dennis and Tall John jump out of the way. However, Buzz, because he was moving in closer to them, is caught by one of the rounds. And you take, you're afflicted with a branded D8. And I'm going to tell you what that is. So that's an ailment.
Okay.
And what that means is, so you take a minor injury. So tick off a minor injury on your box. But that's a D8. So at the beginning of your turn, actually, when you take the ailment and at the beginning of your turn, you roll a D8. If you roll a 1, 2, or a 3, the effects of this ailment do not impact you. If you roll more than a 3, they do.
So in my character sheet, I stick this in ailments as minor wound, or is there a box somewhere else?
Yeah, no. For under ailment, put branded, which is effectively a minor wound as long as you are branded. So you'll roll that D8 at the beginning of your turn. If you get a 1, 2, or 3, you're not affected by it right now. If you get a 4 or greater, you are affected. And you can take a complex action to patch it up, or somebody else can, which could effectively reduce the die size of it.
Cool.
But we'll see how that goes when you want to. But that is the end of round 1, bringing us to the top of round 2. Which one of our Mavericks would like to go first?
Feel free, Dennis.
Yeah, sticking to the same.
Yeah, why not?
Sure. I will peek over the tombstone I'm cowering behind. Realize, you're using a shotgun. You got to reload this thing every round. So I reload it and blast.
So simple action.
Simple action to reload, quick reload, and then blast Earl again.
Now, I will point out, if you have any sleeved aces, you can spend a sleeved ace to get a second simple action, which would allow you to aim. I didn't think you had one, but I wanted to remind some people of the mechanics. So you blast away back at Earl.
So once again, grit and long guns, 2d8s. Blasting. We get 15.
15. Fantastic.
Yes.
So that's 2 sleeved aces. You could spend them both to do your critical damage if you want.
Shotgun's critical damage is only 2, so I'll hold off.
And do you have any? Does your shotgun cause any inflictions or anything like that? Or
no, plain old shotgun.
So what's the flat damage on that?
8.
8. So again,
lead poisoning.
It comes through, strikes him. His body, some of it bounces away from his hardened undead flesh, but a good chunk goes through. And again, you can now see ribs through his skin as he's just getting pin-cushioned, and more of the stench, more of the stinking black ooze and grave dirt comes out. And he growls at you again. His nemesis, his clear nemesis, the dog-faced warrior. Queen of Hearts.
Oh.
So with a face card, the danger goes up. So with Earl, and hearts, what it looks like is he reaches out his hand almost as if he's flicking a lariat, and immediately you feel a noose tightening around your neck, and you feel yourself being lurched off of the ground.
Uh-oh.
You need to make me a spirit attribute save.
While he's
Spirit
doing
is my
that,
worst.
sorry, Aaron, while he's doing that, he takes 5 bleeding damage.
Thank you.
All right. Spirit is my worst, so fingers crossed.
You got this.
Oh yeah. 10 on the D10 and a 6. full marks. 16.
Oh my god. So as this is pulling up, your own connection with the weird and your own strength of will, you almost just push against it and you feel your feet plant firmly on the ground, and that feel of that rope just turns to wispy wind and floats away as you stare daggers back at Earl. Again, his body continues to just rupture and ooze more black blood.
Ugh.
So, Tall John or Buzz, what would you like to do?
Am I in hand-to-hand range now?
Absolutely, yes, you are.
Yeah, I want to hit the wanker who shot me.
All right. The first Cobb brother.
So the other guy's already bleeding, so I can leave Earl. Will Earl continue bleeding, did you say, until he patches it up?
Correct.
Okay, then I'll leave him alone. And the guy who shot me, which was which brother?
This is Jake Cobb.
Jake. Okay, well then I will slash at Jake with my clawed hands. And yeah, so this is a brawl check, right?
Correct.
And I have some sand, a pocket sand, which when you do something.
Did you say pocket sand?
Yeah. I have pocket sand. It's special sand. It's not like other sand. It is for pockets, and it blinds people when you make a successful brawl check. So I'm going to do that. So brawl
Fantastic.
plus what, Aaron?
Brawl plus quick.
Brawl plus quick. So quick is 12.
Since you got slashing claws, I think quick makes sense.
Yeah. Brawl plus 12 plus 10. And I rolled double 5.
So a 10 in total?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, 5 and 5.
Fantastic.
The damage. So there's lots of weird things I can do now I'm standing next to people.
Okay. Talk to us about it.
So I can drink, once I've got someone bleeding, I can drink their blood to reduce an injury's severity, which is delightful. Gets me invited to all the best dinner parties. And also, how does one sweeten the pot?
So when you're sweetening the pot, that's when you're adding an ace to your roll to affect some way. So you could spend 1 ace to raise a different Maverick's next check in the scene, or spend an ace to raise a Maverick's next save, which could be yourself in 2.
Okay.
Or you can spend 2 to get a critical, or 2 to inflict an ailment.
I only have 1, so I'm using my claws, which is my flesh trait. When making an unarmed attack, I can sweeten the pot to impose bleeding.
Okay.
So this guy, Jake, did you say? He's taken 3 damage, 3 slicing damage.
Okay.
He's now bleeding, and I can, when I drink his blood whilst he's bleeding, to reduce. So how severe is my injury, or should I roll a 1d8 like you said?
You need to roll a 1d8.
Yeah. Let me do that. 1d8. And I rolled a 5, so that's not what I wanted.
No, so you're affected as if you have a minor injury by this branded condition.
Okay. And uh, so is it not possible to reduce this injury severity because it's a minor injury?
No, you would be able to reduce a minor injury to no injury. Now, since it's
Okay.
a branded condition, you could patch yourself up and it would go away. But I like the cinematic of it. So describe what it looks like as you're drinking this foul black blood
Are
to
you sure?
heal yourself.
My kids watch this. So yeah, my proboscis dips down into wherever I've slashed this guy, somewhere grim like the pectoral muscles. And as they're looking down at me, my large compound eyes fixate onto the blood oozing out of this sort of semi-spectral, semi-undead figure. And yeah, he just slurps it up like he's got his favorite um, quick shake. So yeah, it's very slurpy.
So as you pull this black blood into it, what I'm going to say is you're not going to have to make an ailment roll next round. So
Okay,
you still have the branded condition, but next round we'll just consider it an automatic success.
thank you.
You
And
are
that's me.
fantastic. So as your procubus is stuck in his chest, Jake, ooh, you got the Joker.
Uh-oh.
No, that's a good thing. That's a
Oh.
good thing.
Oh.
Restores your weird dice. But you haven't reduced yours, so
Well, can it go up from a D10 to a D12?
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I don't see why not. At least for today, we're gonna say you've got a D12 on your weird dice for now, and an ace, ace of clubs. All right, you're
On fire.
all right. So you've got a sleeved ace.
Aaron Stevens in the chat and has, I think, confirmed that that's
Yes,
correct.
yes, it can. So now your weird die is a D12. You've got a sleeved ace, and you're going up against clubs, the 10 of clubs. And a club is so he's got, as you're clinging to his chest, sucking out his blood, he pulls his revolver up, trying to aim it at your chest as he fires off.
He's also blind.
Yeah, but you're at close range with him. So at close
All right.
range, blindness doesn't affect because
I
you're
think
at
he could
hands
feel
with him.
me. Yeah.
Yep. So I need you to make a grit attribute save with your newly minted D12 weird dice.
Oh, that's joyous. Thank you. D12 and grit. D12 plus D10 then. And that is 1 and 2 and this. And that is at 16, 11 and 5.
All right. So as I said earlier, you don't get additional aces during your saves, but you feel him pull his revolver up and you knock it aside with your arm as you continue to feed, and the gun goes off over your head, doing no damage, bringing it back to our Mavericks. Andy, or I should say, Tall John.
So Tall John sort of props himself up slightly from where he was hunkered down hiding. On the philosophy of just trying to put one of these varmints down, he'll fire another shot at Earl.
I like it.
And I think he's already been attacked.
Many times. He is bleeding
this
black
round.
blood. Oh, yeah,
He's already been attacked in this round, I think.
Yes, he has.
Chuck.
By Chuck.
Yeah.
Therefore, I've got raised, so I'm rolling 2d12. That's 12.
12 in total, so you get a sleeved ace.
Yeah.
And you hit.
Right. So that's 6 damage. I'm going to spend two sleeved aces.
I'm gonna stop you right there before you do that. Your round from the dentist strikes Earl Cobb right between the eyes, and you see his skull crack. and turn to dust, and his body just seems to slough off of his ghost, crumbling around his feet. His big iron hits the ground and turns to rust. His clothes shred and fade away as if they've been in the ground for a year. And for just a moment, you just see his ghost standing there. And he says, "You damn dirty varmint stopped me before I got my revenge." And then you see these red, almost like serpents or perhaps elongated fingers stretch up out of the ground and weave through and around his ghost, shredding it as it pulls it down into the ground. The last thing you see is his red eyes looking up from the ground as he's pulled under, leaving the two Cobb brothers, Jake and Aloysius, left.
Joel.
Joe, I've got a
simple action. Yes.
Simple action. Sorry. First of all, as a mental note, I need to check the sights on my rifle because I hit him in the forehead when I was aiming for his teeth.
I love it.
But I shall then just hunker back down to hide.
Okay. So we see Tall John slip back behind one of these tombstones as Aloysius Cobb comes to bear on Chuck, because he's the only one he's more visible. Coming at you with a 4 of diamonds. Diamonds are forever. So this is going to be a reckoning attribute save. And what you see is he's whirling around. Actually, it's once again, everybody in short range. Sorry. So all 3 of you, as he fires off, screaming out, "Earl, I'll avenge you, brother." So all of you need to make saves. Now, if you're hunkered down, you get a raise on that save. And this is a reckon save.
I duck down again beneath my tombstone and I'm fine. Okay.
Right.
So my save got raised, didn't it? My weird die went up to 12.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, your weird die is permanently 12 at the moment. Well, at the moment it's 12.
Okay, yeah, I passed.
Okay.
I've rolled a 4.
A 4. Okay,
that is target number 10.
The target number is 10.
I think I've got 3 sleeved aces. I'm going to use all 3.
Okay, all right.
To make that 10.
Wow.
I'm working on the philosophy of I don't want to be hit.
So as these bullets are coming, Tall John, you see one coming right, as you look up to see the bullet coming, it's coming right at you. And out of nowhere, a bat is flying through, come through all this thing, flies down and gets hit by the bullet. Somehow, your miraculous luck as a maverick saves your lives as the 3 of you are able to duck out of the way. And that brings us to the top of round 3. Who would like to go?
Can I keep eating Earl, please?
You may.
No, it's not Earl. It's Jake.
It's Jake. Jake.
Yes. Right. So again, slicing him up. And that's you said it was quick plus brawling.
Correct.
12 and 10. And I roll a 2 and an 8. 10 again.
Nice. So you do strike him. Do you want to spend any?
I only have 1 die, and he's already bleeding. I imagine things like bleeding don't stack, do they?
They do stack.
Oh, they do. Then he can bleed twice.
Okay, so
I will sweeten the pot and spend 1 ace because that's all I have to make him double bleeding.
Okay, so and your bleed damage is 3, correct?
No, I'm not sure. My base damage is 3. Is that,
okay, sorry. But at the start of his turn, he suffers your base damage again in bleed. So
that would be 6 then because he's bleeding twice.
All right.
And
so
my ailment has now gone away. My wound.
It's not gone away. Your ailment is still there, but because you successfully drained his blood last time, I'm not making you roll for it this time.
Okay, sure. So that's me.
As you're sucking out Jake's life force, this thick black blood, you feel his body start to shrivel and the skin start to flake off as you suck in the last of this grave blood. And again, this skeleton just collapses around you, and you find your fleshy protuberance just sucking up dust now, as you're holding on to two shoulder joints, the rest of his body having disintegrated around your feet.
He lets out the most gigantic belch and looks to Aloysius.
And Aloysius Cobb, being the only one left, having seen both of his brothers laid low, is coming at you, Buzz, with a queen of spades. So spades is going to be a quick save for you. Mm-hmm. What you see is he lets loose these purple flames coming off of his revolver as 6 rounds come firing straight at you.
6? That's just outrageous.
It's rude.
Yeah. So this is a quick and a weird. So that's D12 and where did quick go? It's up there. 2 D12. Okay. Don't like
Buzz is
hit.
quick.
Buzz. 8, 16.
Okay, so you see these rounds coming, and almost with comical slowness, at least from your perspective, Buzz, you just sort of wave out of the way. Your head lolls back and forth, and the rounds just sort of dance around you.
It's like you can never hit the fly because it always flies away. It's that.
Exactly. Bringing us back to our Mavericks.
Chuck, go.
Yeah. Well, with only Aloysius left, look over at like Buzz, who's just, I don't know, fed on a corpse and just.
He's having a fabulous time. He's so
he is having a fabulous time.
I think Tall John has seen this before, but still finds it highly disturbing.
Yeah.
Apologies, all apologies.
Your children are watching for a start.
No, they will be watching this tomorrow, but some may be edited for various reasons.
They're young enough to be in bed already, are they?
Yes, they're gone. Yes.
Okay.
Well, we'll take, not take aim, not literally, but we will, actually, I can use a sleeve days to take 2 simple actions. Reload, take aim, get a raise, and fire at Aloysius. For a D8 and a D10 now. Whoppa. Oh, and that is a 12.
12. So you get to sleeve another ace back. And what is the base damage of your shotgun again? Remind us.
8 lead poisoning.
So as the rounds hit him again, it doesn't penetrate as deep as you would think, but he's definitely knocked back, and you do see some of that black ichor coming out of him now, because this is the first time Aloysius has been injured. And he's scowling.
I'll point at Buzz. I'll point at the wound like a Buzz. Look.
Oh, I'm so full.
His loose jaw is ratcheting, and he's like, "I'm gonna eat your soul."
I need that.
But Tall John's up first.
I think I have to say back what like both your brothers did. And then
actually, I apologize. Aloysius does get to go again. Sorry. Would hate to stop the action from that. And he's gonna return the favor to Chuck with a 9 of clubs. And he lets loose with his revolver at you. So that's going to be a grit attribute save.
Grit is a D8 for me, and my weird is still a D10. It has a 10 exactly.
Fantastic. So the round's coming at you, but you Mavericks are just too good at your job, and you slip out of the way, let loose with a short howl as the bullet goes by.
Cowering behind my tombstone.
And Tall John, you see Aloysius fully focused on Chuck at the moment, opening up with his revolver. What would you like to do?
I shall shoot at him, aiming for his teeth.
Fantastic.
And it's raised because he's been attacked already. Ooh, I've missed.
Oh Lord!
I have no sleeve daces, and I've rolled a 6.
All right, so the round, you think as he's moving to get a better bead on Chuck, the round just goes by him and he turns. Again, you hear the ratcheting sound of the vertebrae in his neck as he looks at you.
I
And
hunker
with a
back down, by the way.
okay. And with a 4 of spades, he is going to unload his 6 shooter at you now, Tall John. So I need a quick attribute save.
Quick attribute save with a raise in it. I got a 13.
13. So you're fine. He hits the tombstone right in front of you. The wood chips off of it. Bullet almost penetrates, doesn't go quite through. Bring us back to the top of the
I get
round.
a splinter in my cheek that the little trickle. No, I'll just leave it there for the moment. It can wait.
I love it. Buzz, you smell a little bit of human blood on the wind.
Pudding.
Stomach starts to gurgle a little bit after all the undead blood. Who would like to go?
Shall I? Because he's right next to me. But I'm happy. Dennis, I seem to have jumped over you, so please, you go.
No, I was going to suggest you go first.
All right. Well, he's nearby, so I'll drop the shoulders of his brother and just nip over to him and slice him with brawling and quick, which is sorry. Put my pen. There we go. And I also miss with a 5 and a 1.
So you come through and you grab your claws get tangled a little bit in his long coat and you tear some ribbons out of it, but you're unable to connect with the undead flesh. As he spins about, coming at you with the Jack of Spades. So once again, with face cards, it's a little bit more deadly. So I'm going to need you to give me a quick attribute save.
That's 2d12.
And I also need you to roll your branded dice, your branded D8 dice.
Okay, right. My 2d12 are 14, and my branded dice is that D8 thing. Yeah.
Yep. And just tell me what you get.
Where's the D8 on that? I get a 7.
A 7. So you are
It remains.
minor injury that you've been branded by, but you easily avoid the shots from his revolver. Bringing us back to the Mavericks, Chuck or Tall John?
Shall I? Now that
you go.
Yeah. Now that Buzz obviously is in close proximity, I'll spend an ace to obviously root out, get the extra action to also aim more so to not hit Buzz than actually hit the other dude.
Buzz is about him.
Yeah. So the 8d10. And that is an 8. Is a miss.
Do you have any sleep aces?
I have one more. I can do that turn it into a 10.
That is correct.
So I'll do that.
All right. So
8 damage.
8 damage. So the shotgun goes off and you tear his right arm away from his body. And as his right arm falls, you see his left hand reach out and grab the revolver out of it. But he is, even with the reduced damage from the shotgun, Aloysius is not looking good. But with the revolver in his left hand, he scowls back at Chuck with a diamond.
Diamonds.
So it's going to be a reckon save. And as he takes this, his revolver in his left hand, he fires at every one of you. All of you need to make me a reckoning attribute save.
And I'm still got a raise because I'm hunkered down.
That is correct.
Okay. What was it? Reckon.
Reckon. Yep.
I get a 10 exact.
Fantastic.
17.
Wow.
Well, all right. You are definitely safe behind that tombstone.
Sorry. So. And that's a 4 and a 2. So I failed. People keep shooting me.
So
rude.
So you get branded D8 again. Now you're already branded D8. So since it's the same dice size, the dice size goes up. So you're now branded D10. So at the
Okay.
beginning of your next round, you're going to roll a D10 instead of a D8. 1, 2, 3, you're okay. Anything above that, you're still affected as if under the minor injury.
But what does that mean, having a
So
minor injury?
So you can get up to 3 minor injuries. So let's say you had 2 minor injuries, normal minor injuries, and you were branded D8 and you were under the effect of that minor injury still then. So that would effectively mean all of your minor injuries were filled up. Then if you got another minor injury while you were branded, it would become a moderate injury. So it would skip up to the next tier. So that's how the branding and some of the ailments can start to stack against you.
How do I die?
How do you die? If you have a major injury and you would sustain another major injury, you get a certain number of I pull a card, and that's the number of sunsets you've got before you die. But then for every minor action, every complex action, simple action you take, it reduces that amount. So you can literally, fight your way into an early grave. So
that's cool.
it's a bit of the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
It's a very cool, very cinematic way to deal with it. But unfortunately, you guys are so damn good that we might not see what it looks like here. So, but we are back now. We are back to the Mavericks' turn. So,
John?
Oh, is it me now? Sorry. Oh, yes. Sorry. Just one thing. I just want to check I'm not screwing up. I've not been taking account of ammo at all. Do I not?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that in this one shot. I mean, you have to reload. Like if your weapon was a one shot, you would need to take a simple action to reload it.
My ammo's got ammo 4.
Okay.
So I think I've probably had 4 shots at least. So
this is the 4th round this round. So
okay, this is my last one before. Okay, right.
Then you have to reload.
Okay, so I shall shoot again. Aloysius, who has been attacked, therefore has.
That is correct.
Yeah. So has I get that, and I've missed again.
Wow.
I'm suddenly rolling bad on 2d12. I've rolled 7.
That's sad. That is horrible. So the round you're aiming for his teeth, and his head moves a little out of the way, and the round goes wide.
And I hunker back down.
He spins back, looking at you, pulling the King of Hearts.
Ooh.
So Hearts is a spirit save, and as you hunker down, you feel a choking sensation around your throat. Tall John, as you feel yourself almost being lifted off the ground by a spectral noose.
Right. And I've got a raise in this, so I'm actually rolling a d10 and a d12. And I've rolled exactly 10.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. So you grab a hold of this tombstone, and it seems to ground you to life. And the noose burns and pulls away from you, leaving a crawling sensation across your throat, but otherwise unaffected, bringing us to the top of the new round. So round 5. Who would like to go?
I'd like to introduce myself to Aloysius once more.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's problem 10. That's 10. And that's 13.
13 to hit with a sleeved ace.
Okay. Then I will use that
ace.
Yep. I will use that ace to sweeten the pot and impose bleeding upon him.
Excellent. So, once again, you stick this long protuberance into his body and you begin to drink out this black ichor. But Aloysius is not Earl, and Aloysius has been injured. And as you suck, you literally feel his body start to crumble around and pull. You're pulling dust and bone shards up into your body as he bursts apart and flows away on the wind. And in that moment, the 3 of you feel a howling gale sweep up around the cemetery, screaming around you as dirt and debris fly up. And you see on the steel drum the red letters lift up in the wind and get pulled up into a screaming cyclone that then gets sucked down, back down through the grave. And the grave opens up almost like a sinkhole. And whatever remains of the Cobb brothers are still on the ground start to roll and slink and fall into that grave. And you just hear three distinct howling screams as hell is opened up and reclaimed the Cobbs. And then everything is quiet.
You don't see that every day.
No,
I think that was quite successful.
quite a lot.
I'd say so. Also very gross, but successful.
Apologies all round.
I shall focus my mind away from the sights of Buzz sucking blood again by simply focusing on reloading my rifle.
PTSD is
Fantastic.
not a thing in this world.
And I'm going to hand wave the patching up. So Buzz, you're able to deal with your affliction. You make your way back down into King City, and you see out of the streets outside of the Buckhorn Saloon that's closed down for the night, but you see Milt there, and you see Slick there, and they both have a look of fear on their faces, and they see you come walking down.
Buzz, get them to look in the mirror and see if they now have nooses around their necks anymore.
I'll hold it up. Are they noosed?
They are not. They just look like themselves in the mirror. Milt says, Did you handle the problem?
I think we did.
That we did, yeah.
Well, the first part of the problem, we dealt with the Cobb brothers, but someone summoned them.
That goddamn Augie. I guarantee it was him. But that's a problem for another day. Maybe if you stick around in town, maybe I can convince the mayor to hire you to help deal with Augie. Mayor don't like him any more than the rest of us do.
Yeah, that does sound like a new bounty, new contract.
But I'm a man of my word. He reaches into his pocket and he hands out the chips that he promised you, and he says, as soon as the bank opens up in the morning, I'm sure Miss Gwen will settle up with you. I'm gonna open the saloon up now since y'all done your job, and drinks are on the house.
Not that thirsty, but thank you.
The gas lights come. The gas lights come up.
Not for whiskey or beer, anyway.
Gas lights come up on the Buckhorn Saloon, and y'all make your way in. And the evening passes, having successfully completed the bounty on the Cobb brothers. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see Chuck and Buzz and Tall John again at some point, taking up another bounty in King City. I want to thank my players for very successfully investigating this bounty and dealing with the Cobb brothers. I hope you had a good time with this game. I really enjoyed running it. It's a lot of fun. It's every bit the cinematic Western adventure that the game promises itself to be, at least in my opinion. If you're watching Huckleberry, if you're watching this live or watching this later, I do want to remind you that the link to the Backerkit is down below. As of this day, October 11th, it's got 25 days left. So feel free to check it out and back it. And if you just can't get enough Huckleberry and you want to see more, today, Marathon Huckleberry session is ongoing. You could switch over to Twitch TV. Tales of Myth and Mayhem are currently running this very same adventure. So Mark is running them through, and you can check out and see how his Mavericks handle this adventure, which I'm sure will be very different than the way we handled it, because Mark is a brilliant GM and I'm mediocre at best.
Oh, stop it.
I think you're modesty, but yes, excessive modesty. You could almost be British with that level of modesty.
Yeah, well done.
Why, thank you. If you guys would take me in, I would be a British citizen today. But And then later today, I know this might not work out for our friends on the other side of the pond, but you could definitely catch it later. The Adventures in Lollygagging with Jeff, who is truly the master trail boss, will be running through a different adventure, and that will be at 7 p.m. Pacific. No, sorry. This is Saturday. It will be at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Huckleberry all day long if you're so intrigued. And if you're joining us here because you're a fan of Garblag, we've got some normal Garblag adventures coming up too in the near future. You can join us back on Warhammer Wednesdays this October 29th, where you will see me once again in the GM seat. We are playing Warhammer the Old World. Our party of would-be adventurers have successfully survived their initial brush with the forces of evil. Their grim portent is underway, and they find themselves caught in a triangle between a mad Sigmarite witch hunter, a necromancer and his cult, and a noble family. So let's see if any of them survive that. And speaking of master GMs, Pete is going to be returning on Thursdays in October for some more heroic deeds. His game that he recently kickstarted successfully. He's putting the finishing touches on it. Should be coming out soon. So if you want to see how that plays, definitely check out Pete on Thursdays. That's all I've got. What is everybody's last thoughts on this game? Did you enjoy it?
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Aaron, stop putting yourself down. That was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you for letting us play test it.
Fantastic.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun. Did we was there anything we missed? Was there any?
You did things in slightly different orders, but no, you got most everything. So like the main components of the adventure, the main locations in the adventure are the bank, where you went and you found all the clues in the bank and in his room, the saloon, and you went to it and you found most of the clues in that. The barber shop, which you and the obviously the cemetery. Now, you did them in different orders than other people have done them, but yeah, everything you did was rational and made sense. And yeah, I mean, you basically picked up on all the clues. And the fact that you were in the cemetery as night fell kind of circumvented or short-circuited the Cobb brothers' intent to burn the town down as they hunted Milt or Slick down. So you actually saved the town. Townsfolk don't know it, but you inadvertently saved the town, or at least part of the town, from being burnt to the ground. So
yes,
double clap on that.
That was really good. I really liked that the sleeved ace mechanics of constantly earning and spending them. They really come back quick, and you're spending them is really good.
Yeah, and it lets you kind of really get that very cinematic feel. And then, like, if we were going to be continuing in a long campaign, then you get into what's called drives, where you're linking a series of bounties together, not necessarily in a location, and then you're slowly developing your characters. They continue to grow, basically in a leveling sort of experience. You get deeper into the mechanics of what it is like to get injuries and how you deal with injuries and how you heal from injuries. And then one of the neat features that Steven has been talking about that I think is going to make it into the game based on where we're at with the where he's at with the add-on, or not the add-ons, the help me out with words. When you're crowdfunding and you
stretch goals?
Yes, stretch goals. Stretch goals is to put an idea in there like holes in the wall. And this is kind of like Blades in the Dark when you're building up your base. So this is an opportunity to build up your hole in the wall for you and your posse of Mavericks. So it gives some extra dimensionality to the game. So you're not feeling like you're just doing a series of one-shots. You actually get into this drive where your characters are maturing and you're developing a reputation and your own home, so to speak. So there's a lot more to it. And then And I really like how the adversaries go, where I don't have to roll anything. I mean, that really, I love player facing games where the players are basically responsible for their own lives. You know,
Demise. Yeah. Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
you're responsible for succeeding. You're responsible for your saves, and if you fail, bad things happen. But I don't have to be the one that says you died. I have
Yeah.
to be the one that says your horrible dice rolling failed to allow you to live.
You did this to yourself.
You are fully responsible for it. But yeah, so I think it's a great game. We're waiting, and currently, if all of you think we're standing here tap dancing and vibing, we are. We're waiting for Pete to jump in and shut the stream off. So we're just going to continue to chat for a few minutes about Huckleberry while we wait for Pete, and then so if you got other things to do, feel free to sign off. But if you want to hear more about the game, I'll try to walk through some things, and maybe Stephen, who's in the chat, can also provide you some information.
So
or if you've got Pete's phone number, that would help too. So
yeah, feel free to call him.
Give him a bell.
yeah.
So what's the rules, the PDF we saw, is that final, or is there more is there more revisions being made to it?
So this is the version 4 is I would say close to final. Obviously, with some of the stretch goals, some things are going to be added. Like that hole in the wall section would be a whole new chapter added to the book. We've already got some adversaries, or he's got some adversaries that he's adding to it. And then based on player feedback, he's been tweaking things. Obviously, some of language, grammar, things like that. And then, I don't know, perhaps even based on some of the things he sees during these playthroughs, might tweak things a little bit. But I think in general, like the core mechanics, how the game feels, how it presents itself, I think that's all pretty solid, set in stone.
No, very so. I've got a few ideas for some additional traits for big irons and stuff like that. So I'll message Stephen in the Discord chat about those ideas.
Definitely. Because I mean, the big irons, that's one of the coolest concepts. And we didn't really dive too deep into it, but as you create your character, every character defines their special weapon or a couple of special weapons. You can end up having more than one big iron. As you get more chips, you can modify your existing big iron, or you can purchase new ones. And there are these iconic weapons, almost as if like in any Western, or even any of the old, even Clint Eastwood cop dramas, Dirty Harry. I mean, they always have that distinctive weapon that sets them apart from everybody else, John Wayne with his repeater rifle, any number of them. So during character creation, you get to build that. And it doesn't have to be guns. Like, I mean, Buzz had a tomahawk. I mean, so there's melee weapons, there's rifles, there's pistols, and that is in and of itself a characteristic of your character that helps make them unique. And then on top of that, you also have the opportunity to get your mount, and it, whether it's a horse or a mechanical horse or some steam-driven cart, whatever the case may be. So there's a lot of different ways that you develop your character aesthetically and mechanically to make them unique and interesting in a setting that is so focused on the weird West side of it. So I love that.
Will there, Stephen, I suppose this question's to you. Will there be magic in so much as casting, or will it all, I mean, because those guys were firing sort of purpley stuff as well as lead. But is there plans for that kind of, I don't mean like wizards and shit like that. I mean, but damage that doesn't come from a gun. If you know, Aaron,
or a tomahawk or a proboscis.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't see any reason why you couldn't flavor your big iron as a sort of magical effect.
Because that's in the PDF we got, isn't it? It just says if you want it to be this, make it this, basically.
Yeah. I mean, like if you wanted
to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you wanted to say like you summon a.
Was Aaron frozen?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh,
Am I back now?
You're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, sorry about that. I was saying that, yeah, I mean, you could just, if you wanted to flavor it as you were summoning a fiery imp from the bowels of hell and firing it off at somebody, I don't see why that would not
No,
be
that makes
the
perfect
case.
sense.
So,
Yeah.
Presumably just change the damage type of the weapon.
yeah, and as part of building your big iron, your big iron may be a different damaging type. Like for instance, like the Cobb brothers, they had indemnities to hammering, slicing, and lead poisoning, which means they only took half damage from those attack types.
Yeah.
But they had aversions to silver and the lawman's lariat. So if they were under the effect of the lawman's lariat, they would have taken double damage. Or if you were firing silver bullets, they would have taken double damage. So they would have been quicker to deal with.
None of us remembered to do that lariat thing, did we?
No, completely forgot about
It's okay.
Well,
you crushed it without it. So
yeah, I thought just for hobbled and stunned, I thought rolling a d6 for that really slim chance. Didn't know about the double damage, obviously.
Yeah.
I really like how you can create your characters and make them so individualistic, so individual, so unique. There's so many mixes of blood traits and flesh traits and callings, and with the customization of your big iron, and then even on top of that, you can you can build your legend, can't you? After the number of sessions of play, you can customize it further. And then now hearing about the hole in the wall, you can make anything.
Yeah. There's that real sense. I always have a slight concern that you're just going to be three guys with Winchesters, and you're all going to be pretty much sort of interchangeable, but it's nothing like that. No, it was a real pleasure creating the characters as well.
Yeah.
I had like 3 or 4 other ideas. So no, that would be cool. That would be cool. Yeah, it was really fun.
It was interesting because I decided to go I don't know if you call it the boring route, but I thought, right, because you two did your characters first. I saw these things come in. It's like, I think I might just almost just do the as a normal human, yeah, as such, just to almost just see how it works in comparison. And I think it was equally balanced. So
yeah.
Mhm.
And one of the interesting things as a GM is you can flavor the impact of the weird on your setting. I chose to make weird relatively common, particularly because in King City it's supposed to be a relatively common event. So seeing someone with the face of a hound dog or an anthropomorphized mosquito, although perhaps unexpected and maybe a little unsettling, isn't so uncommon that it freaks people out. But you could go the other direction and be like, most people are normal in appearance. And if you have one of these freakish appearances, it could have maybe social impacts on you or how you're going to interact with the setting. So, I mean, you could make it just gives you enough tools to develop the world that you want to play in. And I really do like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Aaron, the scenario, did you write the scenario?
Oh, no. This is one of the pre-published scenarios. I believe Stephen wrote this one. Jeff has written several of them too. And in fact, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Stephen, I think this is one of the scenarios that if you when you back the game, you can back the core game and you can back a softbound book of pre-done adventures. And I think this is one of them that's in there.
Because I reckon there's an element of this scenario that's inspired by a Clint Eastwood film, and I'm trying to remember which one it is.
All of them, right?
Well, there's one where they paint an entire town.
Pale Rider.
Is that Pale Rider? Where there's three gang members who were thrown out. Yeah.
Now, Stephen, you might not have guessed this, but Stephen is a huge fan of westerns, and so am I. We've spent a lot of time talking about our favorite westerns and what makes them tick, and he is definitely a fan of the spaghetti western. So
wonderful.
Yeah, you can tell in the reading through it that there's so much, like I don't know, the verbiage used throughout the PDF is just, yeah, it brings back to all that, isn't it? There's so much atmosphere conjured just by using the right well, words everywhere, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. And he's gone through, obviously this is the fourth version of it, so they're tightening it up. But he also has had you know, sensitivity people look at the document, particularly as it's an old West, and here obviously there was a lot of messed up things that happened in the U.S. in the old West, particularly as it imparts to Native Americans and other ethnic minorities. So he's done a very good job of giving it the feel of a Western without making you feel like you are tied down to a stereotypical cowboy image. You know, you can obviously with this character creation, you can be anything, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's odd, isn't it? Because it's a cowboy game, but it doesn't have to be. It kind of will operate in the same sort of Weird West thing, but it doesn't have to be guys in Stetsons.
Exactly. So it gives everybody the freedom
I
to
think it worked quite well in a sort of steampunk sort of Victorian England type setting as well, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and he's actually been talking about different settings for the rule set, the mechanics, and I could easily see that. Yeah, I could see Victorian England, you know,
Just a reskin of some of the names, and yeah,
or like a space western. I mean, if you wanted to have a
Yeah.
Weird West Firefly version, I mean, I think that, you know, there'd be very little you would need to do to change the game to fit any number of genres.
I feel like that has to be nastier though. But if it's in space, it's got to be, I don't know. Just feels like that needs to be a bit nastier and less.
Yeah.
There's a sort of I use the wrong word. I don't mean I say comic, but I don't mean it like that sounds. You know what I mean? It's sort of there's a quite a light-hearted approach to the game in the way it's written and stuff.
I like to think of it as like pulp action meets horror.
Yeah,
you know, it's got
that's a much better way of putting it.
That Hellboy vibe.
Yeah,
you know, in a Wild West, and it just it allows you to make some very interesting choices, both as the trail boss and as characters.
Yeah, it's all very nice, definitely.
As you can all tell, I'm running out of filibuster steam for Pete.
Doesn't someone have to get out a recipe book and start reading it? Isn't that how the Senate works?
I think that is how the filibuster works. I would pull out
you can't sit down, you can't stop reading, but you can't stop unless someone asks you a question, and that's it.
But so I'm just going to say for everybody and for my players alike, it is 1 o'clock. It's our end time here, at least 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, my time, and I know it's very late there. So you do not have to stay on. If you wanted, viewers, I would say that, you know, we've got nothing else going on here, so I would walk away and I will wait and try to get in touch with Pete and get the show taken down. That's up to you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say goodnight to everyone who's watching. Okay. Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Yes. Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
or you could be forced to stay here, but it's still closed down anyway. So, so we're officially done. Good night, everybody, and we'll see you on the next roundup as we ride off into the sunset.